The following is a presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Fox Sports. We are Southwest.
The season began with 1,065 teams trying to make it to Houston, and now we're finally here. The Texas UIL Football State Championships from NRG Stadium in Houston are coming up next.
High school football in Texas is more than just a sport. It's something that unites schools and communities. From small towns to big cities, football in Texas is more than just a sport. Winning a high school state championship is an honor that these players strive for, beginning with workouts. Each player is a son, classmate, and a friend. They go through everything together to reach this step and achieve memories that will last a lifetime. I'm Andy Dalton, quarterback for the Cincinnati Bengals, and Katy High School class of 2006. The Texas High School State Football Championships are coming up next.
Championship weekend, NRG Stadium. All roads lead to Houston, Texas. We are here for 3 days of fantastic Texas high school football. Today, 2A Division I. What a showdown. The Wildcats from Canadian High School set to take on the Bobcats of Refugio. Hi again, everybody. Randy McAvoy alongside Shay Walker. Great to have you with us. Opening day of another weekend of UIL State Championships. The journey began back in August, Shay Walker, and it's all led to Houston.
Well, you know what, Randy? The great thing about this is we're going to see 10 state champions crowned over a 3-day period, and it really does start with 2 heavyweights in Class 2A.
This is the matchup a lot of people have been waiting for, Canadian and Refugio. Let's talk about the leader of the Wildcats from Canadian High School and their outstanding quarterback, Tanner Schaefer.
Well, Tanner Schaefer has just been lights out in 2 years. You see what he's done, Randy. The numbers are eye-popping, and the touchdown-to-interception ratio, you can't get any better than that. But he is truly a leader. He's a gunslinger, a 6'1" frame, and just a very athletic quarterback, and he leads an explosive offense, averaging over 50 points a game.
30-0 as a starter, an outstanding receiving core that he can throw to here this afternoon at NRG Stadium. As good as Tanner Schaefer is and this Canadian offense, you've got to be concerned if you're Canadian's defense. Looking at Refugio's offense, and Jalen Mascaro, their outstanding quarterback, putting up big numbers this year.
Well, he really is, Randy, and you talk about eye-popping numbers. He has done very similar as Schaefer. He's just an outstanding quarterback. He leads a fast break offense. They average around 50 points a game, do the Bobcats, and Mascaro is just excellent in dealing the ball. Only a junior, Randy, and he's already playing for a state championship. Really
keeping up the long-standing tradition of quarterbacks at Refugio. It is going to be a great matchup here this afternoon, or this morning, I should say. 2A Division I, the Wildcats of Canadian, the Bobcats of Refugio. Opening kickoff coming right up.
One. Thank you, Randy. We're with Chris Ketting, the Canadian head coach. His team may be the most...
The UIL State Football Championship is brought. The UIL State Football Championship is brought to you by DQ, the stop sign of Texas. For the best treats, eats, and drinks in Texas, stop at DQ. By Ford, visit your Texas Ford dealer today. Ford is the best in Texas. And by EnergizeHouston.org. 2-year degree, 6-figure salary, one incredible career. Back live at NRG Stadium, Canadian and Refugio. Coin toss, and we're getting close to kickoff here. Class 2A Division I. Right now, let's introduce the third member of our broadcast crew,
Thank
Brett
you, Randy.
Dolan.
We're with Chris
on
Ketting, the Canadian head coach. His team may be the most dominant of any classification. Certainly, you've had the longest trip to get here. Coach, you told your team earlier this week there would be nothing normal about this week. How have you tried to keep some type of routine for game preparation?
Well, we just stressed to them that, we're going to have to get out of our routine this week. So you just got to roll with it and handle what comes to you. And the kids have done a great job of that. They've been real professional and businesslike about it, and they're ready to come play.
Your team has been incredibly dominant in the first halves of these 5 playoff games, but so much athleticism on the other side from Refugio. How do you contain their athletes?
Well, we got to do a great job tackling. We just got to limit the big play. Don't let them get it behind us, and run to the football and play Canadian Wildcat defense.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
This team has outscored the opposition 214-8 in the first halves of 5 playoff games. Back upstairs to you, Randy.
All right, Brett Dolan, appreciate it. We'll be checking in with Brett throughout the broadcast. They are the Wildcats of Canadian. They won the coin toss, so the Wildcats will receive. Refugio will defend the north goal here at NRG Stadium. And tell you what, this is a team that traveled a long way to get here, way up in the Panhandle. It traveled for 2 days to make it here, and it kind of spread the trip out a little bit.
Well, they did, and they stopped along the way and had some practice at facilities where they knew coaches and had relationships with other coaching staffs. But you're right, Randy, the Panhandle and Neil Beasley, one of our cohorts here on these broadcasts, told me that Canadian is closer to Denver than it is to Houston. So these guys have traveled a long way.
Refugio will kick it off here. We are ready, and they'll do a short pooch kick here to get it started at NRG Stadium, 2A Division I. And we are off and running. The early morning start, 10 a.m. Playing a little football early in the morning, huh?
Well, you know what's great about that for Refugio is that when we were talking to Coach Jason Herring, he said to us, look, our football period at Refugio High School starts at 10:30. He said, we're going to be ready. This is just very normal for us. So he seemed to have a comfort level with it, but as you heard Coach Ketting say, 10 o'clock is awfully early.
There's Tanner Schaefer. We talked about him on the open. Just what a season, what a career he has had at Canadian High School, and he'll immediately come out looking downfield. And the Bobcats trying to bring it down. Took 2 or 3, but they initially do it the 30-yard line on that first down play for Canadian. Take a look at the Ford starting lineup now. Let's begin with the Wildcats from Canadian High School. And what a load of talent on their offensive side. Chance Cook, Cameron Copley, list of others up front. A very good offensive line led by senior Quentin Smith as well. There's Chance Cook, the senior. He can do some damage not only out of the backfield, but also a target of Tanner Schaefer as well. So a big challenge, Shea Walker, for the Refugio defense and the tempo that Canadian's going to bring out.
Well, it has been, but so far, first 2 plays of the game, you see Schaefer not able to locate a receiver downfield, and then Nate Smith coming up for the Bobcats with a big defensive play, and Refugio now looking like they've got something going defensively.
That's Sawyer Cook on the kick out from Tanner Schaefer. So Refugio throwing a couple of looks at him early. Kobe Herring, the son of head coach Jason Herring, making the tackle here for Refugio.
Well, you see now this 3-man front for Refugio locking down and making sure that they bottle up. But how about the coolness of Tanner Schaefer there on 4th down? Looks like the Wildcats, Randy, going for it. Oh, quick kick.
A little quick kick there from Tanner Schaefer. Lands at the 30. Gets a good Wildcat bounce inside the 15, close to the 10. And that settles nicely right near the 11-yard line. So first series after that 53-yard punt, Refugio defense making a stand, and that's important early in this game to make some plays.
Well, Randy, a 3-and-out for the Bobcats defensively is exactly what Coach Herring and defensive coordinator Eli Boxell wanted to do. It's easy to say, but doing it and actually executing against this Canadian offense, outstanding job on that first series.
There's Jalen Mascoro, a junior here. Look at those numbers he has put up on the ground and through the air. He has found a way to move this Bobcat offense over the last couple of years.
Oh, and he
right
had a
off the
man.
bat, looking for his receiver. Had some open space right there. That was Adrian Dukes, one of his favorite targets. Take a look at the Ford starting lineup. If we can now for Refugio. Isaiah Perez out of the backfield. You're going to hear a lot of his receiving core, Les Rhodes and Dadrian Dukes, the top receivers on this Refugio offense. And up front, a very nice offensive line to give Jalen Mascaro plenty of protection.
Well, Randy, you see the penalty flag there. It'll be a false start against the Bobcats.
False start. Number 53 in the offense. 5 yards, still second down.
You got to like the play calling by Jason Herring for Refugio. First play from scrimmage, tried to find his receiver downfield, who had a step on the defender, but Mascaro just a little too long with the ball now, trying to get just off the shadow of your goal line on second down.
A group of Wildcats there to make the stop. You know, that leading the way, Holton Huffstedler, the middle linebacker, the leading tackler on this Canadian football team. They will pursue to the ball quickly. That has been a story. Great defense. And you talk to Coach Kenning, he says the offense gets all the headlines, but he says, listen, we got a really good defense that we're proud of.
They certainly do. And again, they're holding opponents to about 7 points a game through the first 15.
There's a handoff.
Oh, it's going to be close.
Right there for Refugio. Huffstedler and Chance Cook in on the tackle for Canadian. Both teams here about 8 or 8:15 this morning. Definitely out of the routine they're used to during the course of the season. For this 10 a.m. kickoff here at NRG Stadium.
Well, it looked like they're measuring this, Randy, but on 3rd and 10, Bobcats kind of come out with a new twist on the stretch play. Take a look here and see what the crew from Fort Worth, officiating crew, head referee Klaus Strassman. Oh, and this is just a little bit short.
Take a look at this again.
Yeah, take a look. You're going to see the running back here is going to come all the way back across the formation. He runs off to and then he takes the handoff and does a nice job of getting downfield. As I said, just inches short from the first down. And we've seen the Bobcats, Randy. They'll go into a short yardage formation where they put Isaiah Perez, a running back in the Wildcat. And he may be there now.
Yeah, he's in the Wildcat. There's Perez, needs a yard. He'll get that. Shakes a couple of tackles past the 30, out near the 35-yard line. Brought down by Sawyer Cook, so Isaiah Perez helps move the chains for Refugio.
Well, you give a lot of credit to that young man because he shook off about 3 or 4 Wildcats to pick up the first down, and you see the rushing yards there. Great job, though, getting in, blocking, and he bounces outside. He makes a couple of guys miss. Arm tackle won't bring him down, and the Bobcats convert on 4th down.
Deep in their own territory, so they're not holding back early in the state championship game, are they?
Well, I think it's probably what most expect if Coach Herring, when you see that short of a distance to go on 4th down, you've just got to feel he's got confidence in his players, offensive line, and they were able to execute there and pick up the first down.
Jalen Mascaro, only a junior, getting a lot of attention for the recruiters. That's going to be picked off. That's Cade Throgmorton taking it to the house for the Wildcats, and they're on the board. A 30-yard touchdown for Canadian.
Randy, there's a late flag, but that's going to be a celebration flag on the sideline. But what you talk about coaching, and you talk about defensive coordinator Andy Cavalier reading this play beautifully. Cade Throgmorton read the keys, read the quarterback, anticipated the play, and comes up with a huge play for his team.
So just like that, Canadian is on the board here. Let's listen in. Line judge coming in to relay.
After the play, we have unsportsmanlike on number 7, White. That's his first unsportsmanlike of the game. The touchdown is good. We'll assess the penalty on the kickoff.
Cade Throckmorton stepping up in front of that pass for Jalen Mascaro. You see him on the sidelines, and You know he wants that one back. It happened so quickly there, Throckmorton right there at the right time.
Well, Randy, again, that's just talking about good coaching, good anticipation by Throckmorton. Again, he read the play beautifully, read his keys. And he said it comes up with a big momentum-changing play early in the game.
Point after coming up from Benigno Heredia. It's up and is good. Left-footed kicker, highly regarded. Good leg on him as well. Gets the extra point. The interception by Cade Throckmorton, and Canadian on the board. 7-0 over Refugio. Let me know who's back. Back live at NRG Stadium here in Houston. Canadian on the board, 7-0. They kick it off back to the Bobcats. And early strike from the defensive side for Canadian here to get on the board. Heredia will kick it off here shortly. Aubrey Oliver is back, number 22 for Refugio, along with Jamel Lafon. There's Lafon right there, the sophomore. His cousin Damond also on the football team. Refugio is a veteran team when it comes to the state championship. 7th trip in 3 times in 5 years, so consistency in this program.
Yeah, it certainly has. Jason Herring doing a great job in his 9th year at the helm here in Refugio.
Heredia will kick it off. Feel it at the 16-yard line. That's Lafon. He'll bring it out. A pretty good field position now coming up for the Bobcats as they try to rebound after that 18-yard kickoff return. Let's take a look at how this one went down again in this play.
Yeah, Randy, take a look here. This is Throckmorton, and then there's a receiver who's going to try to come in and block, but because Throckmorton reads this play so incredibly well, he gets a great jump. The block doesn't happen. He picks the ball off cleanly and just skirts into the end zone untouched. And that's just good coaching, anticipating the play.
Good read by Throckmorton, as the intended receiver at the time was Les Rhodes, so Refugio back at it. Mascaro looking downfield, had an open receiver. Well covered there on the play. Nick Dumbald on the coverage for Canadian. So he's showing early, he's not afraid to go downfield. Take a look at the 4 starting lineups on the defensive side. Corey Chenister anchors that defensive line. Cooper Trolinger is a very good one as well. Linebacking core, leading tackler, Holton Huffstedler. And a nice secondary led by Sawyer Cook and company. Second down at 10 now. And that pass is incomplete. A little high. Pass intended for Dadron Dukes.
Yeah, Mascaro just a little bit high and behind Dukes. Made a good effort to go up and get the ball, just not able to hang on to it. Been a difficult catch now. 3rd and 10 for the Bobcats.
4 early passing attempts for Jalen Mascaro. 0 for 4 so far as he tries to get this air attack going. That one's nearly picked off as well. That's Cameron Copley who's stepping up. Got his hands on it. Another nice job on this Wildcat defense.
Mascaro gets a good throw on the ball, but the break by Copley on the ball. He's got 4 interceptions on the season. Almost had his 5th.
Chance Cook brings it out for Canadian. Out near just shy of the 45-yard line, so Canadian will get it back on offense. 36-yard punt. That was an 8-yard return for Chance Cook. And here comes Tanner Schaefer and company, already leading 7-0. 8:06 mark first quarter.
Well, Randy, this is an explosive Wildcat offense. 12th year for Chris Ketting as a coach on the staff, his 6th as a head coach. And defending state champions.
And the first down. And that's Copley. Let's take a look as Moya makes the tackle there for Refugio. Take a look at the forward starting lineup on the defensive side. Wills, Mascoro, and Cuellar on that defensive front for Refugio. Kobe Herring and Nate Smith anchor that linebacking core as well. Here's Schaefer, little running room on that right side. He has been at the 44-yard line, and it's Austin Moya once again with the tackle. And the rest of that Refugio starting lineup: Dadrian Dukes, Les Rhodes, the two LaFons, they're the cousins, and there's Austin Moya, who's made a couple of early tackles already for Refugio. 3rd down and 10 now for Canadian. Schaefer looking for Copley, and that's well covered there by Dadrian Dukes.
Good pressure. Nate Smith, Jacoby Avery, both of them getting in the face of Tanner Schaefer as he was rolling out to his left, looking downfield. Didn't really have much of an option. Good coverage on the back end. Defensively, the Bobcats for Refugio are making it very difficult for this Wildcat offense. Oh, and not a very good kick at all by Schaefer.
That'll settle around the 33, close to the 33-yard line. So back and forth. Both offenses not doing a lot so far early in this game. A 23-yard punt. And back come the Bobcats on offense, trying to get something started. Jalen Mascoro again trying to open it up a little bit early. So far looking for that first completion. Hasn't happened yet. We're taking a break. 7:20 to go. First quarter. Canadian on top of Refugio 7-0. Nothing Canadian, 7:20 to go. First quarter, Wildcats leading Refugio early here at NRG Stadium. Of course, this is game 1 of a very busy 3-day period, but the rest of the afternoon, some great matchups coming up. Shea Walker, Albany, Bremond, 2A Division II. 5 o'clock today, it's going to be Brock and Cameron Yo in 3A Division I. Cameron Yo back for a 4th consecutive year, trying to win another championship.
Yeah, what a great job there.
Wascom and Franklin wrap it up 8 o'clock tonight, 3A Division II on this opening day at NRG Stadium. Refugio gets the football back on the 33-yard line. That's Isaiah Perez. And the tackle made by Levi Long for Canadian. See a lot of rotation on this defensive side to keep the legs fresh on for the Canadian Wildcats. 2nd down and 7 after the pickup of 3. Get on the Wildcats. Going to be Perez again, and he is met quickly and shoved back, led by Sawyer Cook, the senior.
Well, Sawyer Cook, 6'2", 195-pound senior. He's got 26 tackles for loss, Randy. This is a very aggressive defensive front for the Wildcats, under the direction of Andy Cavalier and his 2nd year as defensive coordinator. Coach came over from Eastland High School, doing a good job, and now 3rd and about 6 yards for the Bobcats.
There's Dukes trying to turn that left corner out 45-yard line. And that's Sawyer Cook again. Tell you what, this Canadian defense last week, Shea, against Crawford, 0 first downs allowed in the first half last week. Very stingy defense.
Well, they are, but take a look here. Just great block downfield, allowing Dukes to pick up the first down. And nice job by the Bobcats getting out, picking up another first down near midfield.
We have a Canadian Wildcat player down around the 40 being attended to by the training staff. Haven't got a number yet. We'll find out who that is. Be Corey Chedister, their starting defensive end. And now it's 14. One of the linebackers, Mario Flores, and that's not a good sign. Not able to put any weight on that left leg as he gets escorted off.
Yeah, Flores, a senior,
3rd leading tackler on this Canadian defense coming in. 157 on the season. Logan Godino will check in now and replace Flores there at linebacker. 1st down now. There's a pass, and the First catch of the day for Refugio. Nice catch over the shoulder with one hand.
Les Rhodes.
Well done by Les Rhodes.
Well, he's got over 1,000 yards receiving. A nice pass there by Jalen Mascaro. Got it out over the top. Take another look at that grab, though.
You see DeAndre Hopkins make catches like that here at NRG Stadium with one hand. Les Rhodes pulling it in.
That was a very nice catch there on his 60th catch of the season, and at a time when the Bobcats really needed it to happen.
That was a pickup of 28 yards. There's Mascaro. Tackle made by Levi Long. Cooper Trollinger also in there for Canadian. Take a look at it again. This is an amazing catch here.
You see the end of the play here, but that Rhodes came across the formation in motion, and then he was just able to outrun the cover guy, and then goes up and makes an acrobatic catch. As you said, 28-yard pickup.
2nd and 10 now from the 26. Mascaro in trouble, kicks it out to Perez. Trying to get some blocking, but the Wildcats are right there. He fumbles the football at the 20, and then inside the 10. Looks like the Wildcats have jumped all over that one.
Well, Isaiah Perez making something out of nothing, Randy. Not sure if he was down or not, but it doesn't matter. The officials on the field have called the fumble. But as he's fighting to pick up additional yards, as he goes down, ball comes out, and the Wildcats have it inside the 10-yard line. But a good defensive stop there. Great job of hustle there by the defense. Everybody clawing at the ball, trying to knock it out.
Nicked up ball, and finally Manny Ramsey pounces on that one, so the Wildcats are going to get it back on the 10-yard line. So Refugio on the move, and they give it back with the turnover. Handoff there is going to go to Chance Cook. He'll cross the 10 out to the 12-yard line. Chance Cook, 153 yards a week ago in the victory over Crawford on a night that included 4 touchdowns. Chance Cook. With Schaefer, down he goes. Well read by this Refugio defense. Jacoby Avery leading the way.
Randy, this Bobcat defense is making sure that they contain Tanner Schaefer. Take a look as he's going to try to roll out to his right here again, or to his left, excuse me, all right. But the defense stays outflanked, does not let him get there. Jacoby Avery fights off the block, then gets help from Nate Smith. Huge play by the Bobcats defensively.
That's a loss of 8 yards, pushes it back now to the 4 on 3rd and 16. Schaefer looking for Copley, nothing there. Well covered by that Bobcat secondary. Jamel LaFond also there on the coverage.
Now, Randy, you remember last time and last possession when Schaefer punted the ball, he got a little bit of pressure from that Refugio defensive front and was not able to hit the ball as squarely or as solidly as he would have liked. Now it's critical that he get off a good punt, and he does.
Fielded by Oliver inside the 30, 25, down near the 20-yard line before he's hit. So here come the Bobcats again. Defense holds Canadian, and now great field position, a 32-yard punt and a 14-yard return there by Aubrey Oliver. Seven-0 lead for Canadian, thanks to a turnover, the interception by Throckmorton, and it put the Wildcats on the board. Meanwhile, the defenses have held. Refugio, you got to be impressed with what they've done against Canadians' offense so far, kind of containing Tanner Schaefer. On 1st down from the 22-yard line, Bailey Urschel with the tackle. Sawyer Cook also in there to help for the Wildcats. So far, the early possessions, the interception, and the touchdown. Then they force the punt and a fumble for Refugio. Trying to get on the board here, down 7 late in the 1st quarter. Mascaro still on his feet. He's met by 3 Wildcats and finally brought down at the 27-yard line. Levi Long helping make the stop there for Canadian.
Huffstedler was there as well. That defensive front for the Wildcats, Randy, are playing reckless. They're making sure that Jalen Mascaro does not have anywhere to go, but they are flying to the football. 2 snaps, 2 negative plays for the Bobcats after that great punt return and a good field position.
Yeah, 3rd and 14 now. Jettison also in on that last tackle. There's a completion. That's
Les on the grab,
but Chance Cook with the tackle, 13 yards.
It's going to be 4th and short again for the Bobcats, Randy, and let's see if they go back into the direct snap and bring Isaiah Perez in the game. It looks like that might be the case here. This time, though, the first time they only needed about 6-8 inches, and he was able to get it when he bounced out to the left-hand side. Right now, they've got, looks right at a yard to go, so Bobcats rolling the dice here early.
Nate Smith, number 15, is also checked in for Refugio. 4th and 1. They'll snap it. Needed to get to the 12-yard line.
Looks like he got it.
I think he got it. We'll see what the spot is for the Bobcats.
But I like the decision making right there by Isaiah Perez. There was no second guessing. He was not thinking about bouncing that outside. He runs it right over the top, dives forward, and he clearly gets past the first down marker. Wildcat defense there getting a good surge, but not before the first down by Isaiah Perez.
Second straight series, Refugio knocking on the door. That last series, they fumbled the football, gave it back to Canadian. Hoping to get on the board here. There's Mascoro, hold on to it at the 10-yard line. And Sawyer Cook leading the way along with Holton Huffstedler and Manny Ramsey.
That defensive front just so aggressive for the Wildcats, and those are tough yards by Jalen Mascaro.
Beatty's defense just giving up 7 points on average all season long. There's Dukes inside the 10, and he's brought down close to the 5-yard line.
Wildcat defenders did what they wanted to do, forced him back inside, but Adrian Dukes, Randy, he had a little bit of shiftiness there, and he made a couple of guys miss. Ends up picking up positive yards. Now it's a more palatable third, maybe looks like 3rd, 5, maybe 6 yards to go, but Dukes did a lot of that on his own after he got through that past the first defender.
They need to get just inside the 2-yard line for a first down. It's a handoff again to Dukes. He's brought down close to the 4.
Man, oh
Chenister
man.
makes a tackle for Canadian.
Oh, another defender for the Wildcats, Randy, down.
Yeah, around the 10-yard line. We'll get a look at who is down right now. When you have rosters that aren't really big in numbers, you can't afford these injuries, but Mario Flores left last series. This is Eduardo Paz, and he is being attended to as well, so perhaps another linebacker against for this Canadian defense dealing with an injury.
Well, the interesting thing now offensively for the Bobcats, though, it is 4th and short again.
There's the big hit right there on Eduardo Paz.
Les Rhodes, the wide receiver, has a great block. Got his head in front, exactly what you wanted to do. Head across the numbers, and Paz, not an overly big guy at 5'6", 145 pounds. He took a big shot there, and hopefully he'll be okay. But
4th down conversion coming up, so for Refugio. 2 for 2 already in this first quarter.
It looks like Jason Herring is going to call a timeout, because each time, Randy, that first 4th down was about 6-8 inches. The second first down was a yard. Now you're back to a yard and a half, almost 2 yards on this 4th down conversion, which makes Coach Herring want to give it a little bit more thought. And actually, he's going to let the clock run out here in the first quarter.
Jason Herring, 9th season at Refugio. A head coach overall for 18 years, so he's done this quite a while and really kept up the tradition here at Refugio. They will talk it over as the first quarter comes to an end here at NRG Stadium. Class 2A Division I state championship, Canadian and Refugio. After the first, Wildcats lead 7-0 here in Houston. Start of quarter number 2 here at NRG Stadium. Jason Herring and Refugio down 7-0, but they are knocking on the door, Shea Walker, and another 4th down conversion coming up for the Bobcats.
This defensive front for Canadian has just been outstanding in limiting the run. So where the Bobcats have had success is getting the ball out in space. It's a tall order right now, though. So it's going to be a tough 2 yards for the Bobcats, but Coach Herring glad to let the quarter run out, and Isaiah Perez back in that Wildcat spot. And oh, man, what a good push by that offensive line, Randy.
Straight up the middle. He gets close to the 1, and that should be enough for the first down. Just needed to get to the 2-yard line. So the conversion once again for Refugio.
Well, that's the first time that we have seen the Bobcat offensive line be able to get any push or that big of a push against the Canadian team. And Trey Upton in the center, Christian Mascaro, the right guard, did most of the work there. They see Isaiah Perez checking back in to the game. Mascaro.
And the Wildcat here. Here's Perez. And he is met at the 1. He's going to be shy of the goal line. So that was the 8th play of the drive. Actually, signal a touchdown.
Second
he kept
effort.
driving. They didn't bring him down. Touchdown Bobcats.
Second effort. Great job there by Perez. 1,000-yard rusher this year. The surge looks like he stopped just a little bit short, but he continues to push his legs forward, driving down, and then the official comes in. He's across the goal line.
Marcus Arredondo in on the point after for Refugio. There's Isaiah Perez out of that Wildcat. And Refugio has evened things up here. A 9-play drive, 22 yards after they had that excellent field position. Thanks to the defensive stand. And they are on the board. We're all even here, Class 2A Division I. All right, let's check in now with third member of a broadcast crew, Brett Dolan, standing by with a very nervous wife, I would understand, right?
Yeah, nervous, but a little bit excited. Lisa Herring joins us, wife of Jason Herring. Now, your husband has a fiery personality. What is it like for you and the family? Are you the soothing person?
I definitely am. We are polar opposites, and I guess it's up to me to kind of keep things leveled out. But definitely, it's been pretty tense at our house the last few weeks. So, but definitely a very passionate man, and he loves what he does. He loves the Bobcats. He loves Refugio, and it's been so good to us. And we just feel very blessed and fortunate to be playing here today.
Well, the special part is your son, an all-state linebacker, a junior. Your husband didn't want to brag on him earlier this week, but I know he's so proud, and it must be so much fun to have father and son down there together.
It is. It's been, I guess, very exciting, and we're just especially nervous today because we have him out there playing, but they really work well together. They put together the game plan, and Jason asked Kobe a lot of questions about it, what he thinks, and but I do know that Kobe works very, very hard and deserves to be out there, and I'm just very, very proud of him, and I'm proud of all the Bobcats.
Enjoy the rest of the game.
Thank you so much.
That's Lisa Herring, the wife of Jason Herring. I got a hug after the touchdown. She was so excited, guys.
All right, thanks a lot, Brett. I'll tell you what, the coaches go through so much during the course of the season. You've got the supporting wife at home, and they're going right through all the emotions of a season as well.
Well, and the extra special adder there, Kobe Herring, is a stud linebacker on this team. Also a stud left tackle, but defensively he's got 203 total tackles, leads the team.
Canadian will begin on the 36-yard line. And a quiet start on the offensive side for Tanner Schaefer and these Wildcat offense, averaging 55 points a game this season. Heroes defense doing a nice job early. Chance Cook with the handoff, but he's tripped up there by Gaten Wills, who makes the stop for the Bobcats.
Well, Gaten Wills, who was listed as a linebacker but moved down to the defensive front for this game, 12 tackles for loss, just knifes through the offensive front, comes up with the big play defensively.
Schaefer over the middle for Copley, midfield. That was actually well covered by Refugio, but Copley showing why he's one of the best receivers in the state.
72 catches, over 1,200 yards for Copley. And again, this Wildcat offense trying to go fast, but it's an outstanding grab.
Hey, look at this catch again by Copley over the middle.
Talk about the coverage. It is spot on. 2 defenders right there. He knows he's going to take a shot. Goes up and hauls it in.
That was Les Rhodes who had checked in for Refugio. Out to the 49 now on second down. Pass downfield near the 10-yard line. Broken up. Pass was intended for Manny Ramsey. Damon LaFont on the coverage for Refugio. Got a hand on it to knock it down.
Good job of man coverage there. Schaefer taking a shot on 2nd and 10. Coverage was beautiful by the Bobcats.
Third down now, 3rd and 10 for Canadian. There's Schaefer, and the pass is caught by Copley just inside the 40. Les Rhodes on the coverage, and that's going to be enough for a first down.
Randy, generally speaking, Tanner Schaefer likes to get the ball out quick, but take a look at how much protection that offensive line gives him, which allows Copley to run the deep route and get beyond the sticks.
Big conversion for the Wildcats into Bobcat territory. It's Chance Cook and Gaten Wills, Jamel LaFont on the stop for Refugio. Chance Cook, 2,014 yards on the ground, 31 touchdowns for the senior. So many of these guys have played a lot of football at Canadian.
But Adrian Dukes checking out of the game. Looks like he got nicked up a little bit for the Bobcat defense.
2nd down and 7. Schaefer over the middle. Pass is caught. Chance Cook. Touchdown Canadian.
Randy, the coverage was not bad by Refugio, but you see this laser from Tanner Schaefer, and the cornerback cuts in underneath trying to deflect the ball, but the ball is thrown just beyond his reach. Chance Cook comes up with his 31st catch and his 5th touchdown reception on the season.
Benigno Heredia in for the point after for Canadian. Kick is up and it is good. So Canadian showing they can strike quickly over the middle. Tanner Schaefer and Chance Cook on the hookup. Wildcats leading Refugio 14-7. Back live at NRG Stadium, second quarter. Canadian on top 14-7 over Refugio. Let's recognize a scholar athlete now from each team. It is brought to you by EnergizeHouston.com. Tanner Schaefer, 4.0 GPA, 4th in his class, also team captain, member of the National Honor Society. And Refugio's Christian Mascoro, 2nd in his class, National Honor Society captain, and also a student council president as well. Congratulations to our scholar athletes, brought to you by EnergizeHouston.org. Got to get it done in the classroom and have some fun out here on the football field. They're certainly doing that all season long. And 2A Division I, they're here for a state championship here at NRG Stadium. Heredia will kick it off. Short kick this time from Heredia. Fair catch is called around the 34-yard line. That's Damon LaFont. So back come the Bobcats after that last drive. 8-play, 64-yard scoring drive for Canadian. Took 2:11 off the clock. And Canadian on top 14-7 here. Plenty of time left in this first half here at NRG Stadium. So far on the day, Mascaro 3 for 8, 57 yards. Had that early interception that Throgmorton took to the house to put Canadian on the board. Looking downfield as well, showing off that strong arm he's got. Down near the 25-yard line, pass intended there to Les Miles, his senior wide receiver.
Les Rhodes there, great job of running the post corner route. Ball just beyond his reach, Randy. And that was one of those plays where in a championship game, it's just a matter of inches. It's a matter of making a play. Rhodes not able to come up with the grab there. That would have been a huge gain for the Bobcats.
2nd down and 10. Mascaro Still on his feet inside or to the 40, over the 40-yard line near the 42 before he's brought down by Canadian.
Good job by that Wildcat defense, stringing him out and not allowing him to get north and south and pick up the first down. And again, it's just you see waves and waves of these white jerseys trying to keep everything in front of them and then being very aggressive at the point of attack.
Refugio 1 for 5 on third down so far here today. Back of the Wildcat, it's going to be Isaiah Perez again. We have movement on that offensive line. Looks like a false start coming up against Refugio.
False start. Number 44 on the offense. 5 yards till third.
Well, that Canadian defense, good to see Eduardo Paz back out there for the Wildcats. He had been helped off the field.
We haven't seen the Bobcats, Randy, you get many plays in chunks against this Wildcat defense, and now they really do need to keep this drive alive, see if they can convert here on 3rd and 8.
Scarrow looking over the middle. Pass is caught around the 40. That's Damon LaFond, but he is met quickly by the Wildcats. Cameron Copley on the coverage. Holton Huffstetler on the tackle as well with a little help from Nick Dunball.
Waves and waves of Wildcat defenders continue to come in.
That pop all the way from up here. Helmet goes flying. So 4th and 5 now. Chance Cook is back for Canadian.
What a nice kick by Mascaro.
Hits around the 19. It's going to be fielded by Cook. And he's knocked out of bounds close to the 30-yard line. 40-yard punt, 8-yard return by Chance Cook. 14-7 ball game here. 2A Division I, 2 powerhouse programs that know how to win state championships. Canadian, of course, winning a year ago with a victory over Mason. Talked to Coach Ketting. He says, listen, this is our 19th week of being together with the kids. They may be tired and dinged up a little bit, but they are all smiles. This is what they play for when the camps open in August.
Oh my goodness. Talk about some hands. Manny Ramsey working the sideline.
Great pass. Better catch here by Ramsey. Pretty good coverage by Moya on that, but Ramsey still holding it.
I'm not gonna let you get away with pretty good. That was outstanding coverage. Manny Ramsey doing a great job of catching the ball, working the sideline.
14-yard pickup. Handoff there goes to Chance Cook. So Canadian really held in check offensively for much of that first quarter. Now you're starting to see him open it up a little bit and make things happen.
Well, and it's a sign of a good team, Randy. You make adjustments as you go along and get into the game. Refugio defense at the very early going, and now we're going to get a false start by the Wildcats. But at the very early going, Bobcats playing good, sound defense and still playing very good defense.
False start. Number 19 on the offense. 5 yards, still 2nd down.
Well, last week in the victory over Crawford, Canadian racked up 566 total yards. Previous week, over 600 in their win.
Well, and they scored 61 points in that semifinal, Randy, and Tanner Schaefer was 31 for 36 in that game.
There's pressure on Schaefer, and down he goes near the 31-yard line.
So trying to get a deep ball down, coverage was good at the back end by the Bobcats, and Schaefer really with nowhere to go with the ball. Tried to elude a couple of defenders, but Refugio keeping him boxed in, forced him right into the middle of a tackle, and now it's 3rd down and forever.
Nate Smith credited with the tackle there, and they'll push it back. It's 3rd and 21 now for Canadian. Snap goes to Schaefer. He'll kick it out to Chance Cook. He's got running room near midfield. Out of bounds near the 50-yard line.
Nice pickup. Not enough for the first down, though.
Yeah, he's about 3 yards short. That was a pickup of 18 on the 3rd and 21. But it's enough. We'll see if they go for it here.
And a nice block there by Manny Ramsey to help get him outside the corner. And we've seen the Wildcats do this in quick kick with Schaefer. I think Coach Herring's going to use a timeout. I think that's a good timeout too, Randy. A little bit of uncertainty. Are they going to go? Or are they not going to go?
Chris Ketting and the Wildcats will talk it over as well. Hey, I want to tell you about the Daytona 500. Racing's most iconic place enters a new era now, forever. The Daytona 500, February 21st. Tickets on sale now at DaytonaFive100.com. Check in real quickly with Brett Dolan. He's got an injury update on the sidelines. Hey, Brett.
Yeah, Randy, Eduardo Paz, you saw him back on the field. Meanwhile, Cooper Trollinger, a wide receiver, came off, really limping quite a bit, working on his left hip, not 100%. And Mario Flores, who was helped off earlier in the game, the 155-pound linebacker, has been seated on the bench for most of the game, has an ice pack on the inside of his left leg and left knee, so it might be doubtful for him to return.
All right, thanks, Brett. Yeah, these guys are dinged up and try to get back out there as soon as possible. We'll see if he can re-enter. That's got to be tough all season. You got to sit out a little bit.
Well, and keep in mind, Randy, a lot of these guys, almost all of these guys, go both ways.
Absolutely. On 4th and 3, nearly blocked. They barely get the kickoff. Hits at the 18 and settles right around that 18-yard line. So, Refugio defense will hold again. That was a 31-yard punt. Bobcats get it back on offense now. Down 7 here. 6:22 to go in the first half. See a lot of the fans that have made the way here. Much shorter trip for Refugio. Less than 200 miles. Meanwhile, it's quite the drive for Canadian. As you heard from someone today, that they're closer to Denver, Colorado than they are here to NRG Stadium in Houston.
That's pretty impressive as far as the length of miles to go. But I'm pretty sure if you ask Coach Ketting, you would travel anywhere to play in a state championship game.
Absolutely.
Distance is not a factor. One of the interesting things that he was telling us, Randy, earlier in the week was about how the kids had kind of accelerated the finals timing so they could make sure that they got all of that done and they could leave in time to make it down here at a comfortable pace. And I thought, just that's what you would expect to happen. But just talking about the difference it makes for the kids and what it means to the community.
There's Mascaro, plenty of time all day in the pocket, looking downfield, nothing there. Mascaro will hold on to it, crosses the 30, out of bounds near the 35-yard line.
Well, a 3-man rush, dropping 8 into coverage. Mascaro really did not have anywhere to go with the ball. Wildcats had all of the receivers for Refugio bottled up. Faces in front, everybody near him. Nowhere that Mascaro could get comfortable throwing the ball downfield, so he takes the next best option, outruns the 3 rush guys, picks up a first down.
Well, it tells you the talent he has. He looked downfield, nothing was there. Smart move to hold on to it. Picks up 14 yards. 1st and 10 now, out to the 33-yard line. There's Mascaro, wide open. Just overthrows his receiver.
Randy, that may be the 2nd or the 3rd time in the first half that Jalen Mascaro has gotten the ball just beyond his receiver's reach. Damon LaFawn, good blocking up front by that Bobcat offensive line, and he knows it right there. Just put a little bit more air into that ball, give LaFawn time to run underneath it.
Good speed on this Refugio offense, showing it there, the separation from LaFawn. The numbers so far for Mascaro, 4 of 11 for 60 yards in that interception early. 6'2", 250-pounder, Jalen Mascaro. Former running back that turned in
timeout
and became the quarterback.
Refugio. That's a second.
He replaced the talented quarterback for Refugio, Travis Quintanilla, who had put up incredible numbers for this Bobcat offense, and he stepped right in, Mascaro has.
What do you think about the job that Mascaro has done? He steps in for a guy who generated 5,000 yards of offense his senior year. passed a couple of guys and a couple of records, some that will be certainly familiar to high school football fans.
There's the road to the championship for Canadian. Began with the victory over Hale Center, Stanford. Anton had that big rematch with their rival Stratford, where they traveled 3 hours to play Stratford and won 31-0 in the victory last week as well. From Hemphill County, population a little under 3,000 and 599 miles from Canadian to the doors of NRG Stadium. And tell you what, look at the championship history, 3-time champs. What a run they have had, 07, 08, and again last year with the victory over Mason. And wherever they play, the Canadian fans follow. And they have made their way here to NRG Stadium today. Good turnout from Refugio and Canadian here on this first ball game in the morning start of the big weekend of football. Imagine things are pretty quiet back in Canadian this morning, you think?
Yes, I'm sure they are. As they should be. Maybe a couple of dogs barking. That might be it.
Second out at 10 now for Refugio. Mascoro again shakes the tackle there at the 27. He's going to be brought down around the 31-yard line.
I don't think Mascaro was aware that Cody Chittister was just barreling down and closing in on him, because he had his back turned to him as he was rolling out to his left. Chittister, the senior, 190-pound defensive end. He's just a world beater defensive player of the year.
19 sacks on the season, by the way, for Chittister. There's Mascoro. That's well read by the Wildcats. That is Sawyer Cook. Les Rhodes was not getting past him there.
Yep. Cooper Trollinger is the guy who makes the play for the Wildcat defense, number 3. Sawyer Cook gets the cleanup, but Trollinger, take another look at this, Randy. You're going to see the play coming from this side. Running back, and you see number 3 right there. Forces him out, slows him down, redirects, and Sawyer Cook cleans up the rest of that.
That hits about the 30 and pops forward close to the 35. 41-yard punt. And here come the Wildcats, leading by a touchdown here. In a fast-paced first half here at NRG Stadium. '30-game winning streak for Canadian coming in, 15-0. Looking for number 16 and another state championship. We'll take a break here at NRG Stadium. 4:16 left first half. Canadian leads by a touchdown. The UIL State Football Championship is brought to you by DQ, the stop sign of Texas. For the best treats, eats, and drinks in Texas, stop at DQ. By Ford, visit your Texas Ford dealer today. Ford is the best in Texas. And by EnergizeHouston.org. 2-year degree, 6-figure salary, one incredible career. (14-7) Canadian leading Refugio. 4:16 left here in the first half. Tanner Schaefer and the Wildcats looking for a little bit more here. They got their hands full with this Bobcat defense so far this afternoon. There's Schaefer. And that's Copley.
Well, a really nice play design right there by the Wildcats. Copley lines up wide to the left, comes on a dead sprint in motion. That allows a couple of things, Randy. It allows Schaefer to see if there's a guy running with him. Is it man coverage or zone? Copley breaks it back outside, comes up with the first down play.
First down play, handoff there to Chance Cook. Nate Smith will make the stop. Talk about Copley, Shea. First team All-State as those teams were announced earlier this week. 21 touchdowns on the season for Copley. Only a junior. Played a big role last year as well in the state championship game. Pass is caught out to Manny Ramsey. Still on his feet. Takes a couple of hits. Brought down inside the 40-yard line by Gaten Will.
On second down and 9. That's a long throw by Tanner Schaefer. Ball travels a long way, only gets about 8 yards on the catch, but take a look at Manny Ramsey. Takes a pop there, stays in bounds, somehow picks up the first down.
Another big gainer. That's going to be Schaefer. 12 yards brought down by Jamel Lafont.
Randy Schaefer really is a weapon running the ball. 6'4", 185 pounds. He's a big guy. That's most lineman size in the classification that he's playing in.
First down for the 27 up the middle. Schaefer on his feet, dives in for the touchdown.
Two-time first-team All-State, two-time Offensive Player of the Year. Getting it done on that scramble.
Heredia in for the point after for Canadian. It's up and it's good. So Canadian showing again they are a quick strike offense. 5 plays, 66 yards. 1:06 off the clock. And Tanner Schaefer capped it off with a 27-yard touchdown run. Well, Refugio slowed him down in that first quarter, but Canadian has hit its stride. A veteran team that was here a year ago trying to win another state title. Take a look at this again here.
Yep, take a look at this. You're going to see the left tackle here, Marshall Cates, doing a nice job of leading around, getting that ceiling block. Schaefer follows it beautifully, gets into the end zone. Good play design there, and you talk about the quick strike offense from by the Wildcats.
Good blocking up front, Tanner Schaefer. What else can you say about the job he has done, the career he has had? 3,800 yards last year. Topped that in 2015. And not only does he score, Shea, 46 touchdowns coming in, 2 interceptions, so he does an excellent job of protecting the ball.
Well, he really does, and we've seen the strength of his arm earlier in this game where he hit Manny Ramsey on the sideline, and then the touchdown to Chance Cook. I mean, those were laser-like throws.
Short kick, right out by Refugio. That is Austin Moya.
What a Wildcats on special teams. Doing a nice job keeping Moya short of the 20-yard line.
Coming up on the Ford halftime show, it's coming up here. We'll take a little break. Join Rick Ritter and Randy Rogers with their analysis. We got all the first half highlights for you, and we're going to preview the big 2A Division II ball game that's coming up next, Albany and Bremond. You see Albany arriving, unloading the buses. They've made the trip here, and they're ready for the rematch. That is going to be a rematch from last year's state championship game as well. There's Mascaro. He is tripped up around the 25-yard line. Nick Dumbald with the tackle for Canadian.
Well, Mascaro hit the line of scrimmage, and he really just went straight into it, bounced it out to the left. Dumbald makes a nice saving tackle to limit that to only about a 7-yard gain.
Second down and 3 now. There's Dukes. Nothing going there. That's Eduardo Paz, who was injured early in the game, back out there making a big stop for the Wildcats.
Well, getting to your spot, reading your keys, and the Wildcat defense have been flawless at that so far in the first half, Randy. Paz right there, runs to the spot, recognizes the play, and then comes up with an open field tackle. Nice job defensively.
So 3rd and 5 now for Refugio. They're 1 of 7 on 3rd down so far in this first half. Need to get out to the 28-yard line. Mascaro again, nothing downfield. Corey Chedister right there for the tackle.
A 3-man rush by the Wildcats, and Chedister with that great coverage behind him finally breaks free, and he's able to bring Mascaro down for a big loss, forcing a 4th down, and Wildcat defense showing its teeth.
That's a loss of 10. And now the Bobcats are buried on 4th down. You got a minute 47 to go here in this first half, Shea. Canadian's going to get great field position here after this punt.
Well, you can see why Cheddar's Defensive Player of the Year is he fights through a couple of blockers, and then he's able to bring Mascaro down. Just an outstanding individual effort there.
He's 6 feet. He's only 180. Plays bigger than that, doesn't he?
Yeah, he certainly does. One of the other things about him, and it just kind of jumps off the page at you, he's got 68 tackles for loss. You said 17 sacks earlier, just notched his 18th.
Actually, 19. That's number 20 for him.
But that's a
amazing season.
That's getting pressure in the backfield. That's being an outstanding tackler. And he is both of those. He does both of those things extremely well.
I guess a lot of that, when you don't have the size, it's all about desire, all about technique.
Yep.
Get to that quarterback, and he certainly did there. A loss of 10 to push the Wildcats back. So they're going to kick it away here, and Chance Cook is going to be back for Canadian.
Well, Canadian did use a timeout. Minute 47 left on the clock. We know they can be a quick strike offense and look to get good field position here. Well, that ball was either kicked into the back of
I believe it was
a Bobcat.
Yeah, I don't believe it was blocked. I think it was one of his linemen he kicked it into. And look at that. It lands inside the 30. That's a 14-yard punt. And the Wildcats are in very good position here with a minute 38 left.
The Wildcat defense doing his job. Taking a look here.
Yards by quarter. You see just 2 for Canadian in that first quarter. Really bounced back. The tail 2 quarters really for both teams, and they've held Refugio in check here in the second quarter.
Well, right now the Bobcats have to hang on, Randy. Do what they can. Try to stay in this ball game, and it's going to be a pass back to Schaefer.
From Copley, Schaefer on the catch, and he's brought down near the 20-yard line.
Pretty well defended. Les Rhodes did not take the bait. Comes up with a nice open field tackle, gain of about 6 yards.
Rhodes has come in for Dadron Dukes, who had stepped out with an injury on the last series for Refugio. 2nd and 4 now. Schaefer. Pass is caught. This time he delivers to Copley. And it's Les Rhodes again with a stop.
You see Cameron Copley, man, that's not an easy catch. He had his hands turned. Take another look at this. The ball is going to be low and outside for him. Does a great job of securing the ball, snagging a hot rocket. Hauls it in for the first down.
11-yard pickup. There's Schaefer. He'll keep it. He's got running room. 5 and brought down. We'll see where they mark it, close to the 2. Jamel Lafon with the tackle for Refugio. Clock running, 50 seconds and counting here in the first half.
Well, Fernando Acosta, the junior, 6 foot, 330 pounder, number 77, checking into the game. He'll be right there at the left guard spot.
Can't miss him down there, can you? 2nd and goal, handoff. That's going to be Cook.
Nothing doing.
You see who met him first. I think Damon Lafon made the stop. Kobe Herring also in there.
Yeah, you see him holding his right shoulder. He's got that tape on it already, so you know it's bothering him. Delivers a big blow there, though, to keep the runner out of the end zone.
Herring, 6'1", 230-pounder. See the numbers he's put up. Son of Coach Jason Herring. He's a recruit, too. He's a first-team All-Stater. Again, that complete list in all classifications came out early in the week, and all these teams headed to state are loaded with first-team All-Staters, and Kobe Herring certainly one of those for Refugio.
Well, and you see how well he's making plays. Keeping in mind, he's a starting left tackle as well. A lot of reps by these guys.
We talk about the All-State list. Class 2A. Chaddister from Canadian, Mascaro and Herring from Refugio. Also Holton Huffstedler. And Chester, the defensive player of the year in Class 2A. All on the field here this morning.
Third down and about 1.5 yards to go, Randy. Tanner Schaefer, you've got to believe he's got the ball in his hands. That's where you're going to want it. Actually getting under center now. Doesn't do that very often.
Only 1 second left, 3rd and goal. He'll kick it out to Copley. Looking, nothing there. Copley is met. Lunges in for the touchdown.
Too much momentum by Brandon Copley. He was met short of the goal line. The defender did everything he could to keep him out of the end zone, but that was a tall order with only 1 yard to go. Copley coming out of that wide receiver spot, lines up on the right side of the formation, comes back in and gets the reverse handoff, able to get it in for the touchdown.
Benigno Heredia in once again for the point after. No problems there. It's up and it is good. Heredia, who moved here from Mexico to Canadian 3 years ago. And Coach Kenny said this guy's got celebrity status there in Canadian. Big leg, and imagine so does Mr. Copley as well. Touchdown for the Wildcats with 14 seconds left. A big momentum builder for Canadian going to the halftime break. They've had touchdowns on 3 of their last 4 possessions, so a very big second quarter for this Wildcat offense.
Well, in special teams, factoring into this game with that miscue punt by Refugio gave Canadian just outstanding field position.
Bobcats talking it over. These guys, a couple opportunities here today. It started off with the interception by Throgmorton. They got Canadian on the board in that first quarter. See the scoring drive, 5 plays and 27 yards. Took just 1:24. So when they've scored today, they do it very, very quickly. They strike in a hurry.
Well, they didn't have far to go, but very effective in getting the ball into scoring range, and then using a little bit of a nice design play with that reverse to Copley. And Copley, and I'm not sure, but because I didn't see a receiver in the play, but when he took that reverse pitch from Schaefer, he acted like just for a nanosecond that he was going to maybe look to throw the ball. Froze the defenders in a lot of space, and then allowed him to build up that head of steam and get him into the end zone.
Refugio trying to make something happen. The hit, ball comes loose. Wildcats jump on it all the way near the 5-yard line with 5 seconds left. That's Ryan Royce for Canadian.
Well, if anything more could go wrong for the Refugio Bobcats, I don't know what it would be. Trying to make something happen on special teams, just not securing the ball as it pops out, and the Wildcats, Johnny on the spot, recover it. And now, with 5 seconds left, they probably got a play to get into the end zone.
Austin Moya with the 3rd turnover of this first half for Refugio. Tell you what, when you're trying to beat Canadian, you can't turn the ball over. So with 5 seconds left, they want more points. They're going to hand it over to Benigno Heredia here. They'll mark it at the 15. So this will be a 25-yard field goal attempt. It's up,
no problem,
and it is good right down the middle for Heredia. And just like that, 3 more for Canadian after the turnover. A big blow for Refugio, and all of a sudden, they're in a big-time 31-7 hole.
Well, the Wildcats, Randy, have done it in all phases of the game. Defensively, they scored the first touchdown. Throgmorton with that interception, pick 6. Then Schaefer gets hot, finds Chance Cook down the middle of the field for a touchdown. Then Copley ran that other one in. So you see the balance. And it's just been a withering attack by Canadian in the second quarter. They really turned it on.
Let's check in with Brett Dolan right now as we head to half, standing by with Canadian head coach Chris Ketting.
Indeed, Coach, that pick six really seemed to get things started for your team in that first half.
Oh, most definitely it did. I mean, anytime you get a turnover and a score like that, it really changed the momentum. We struggled a little bit early offensively. We're kind of getting going a little bit, but our defense is playing lights out and getting those turnovers, and I think that's key right now for us.
You mentioned your offense. Tanner Schaefer, he has never lost a game as a starter, seems to be such a tremendous leader and has this offense clicking now.
Yeah, he does. We were struggling a little early, and he never lost his composure. And, you know, we found some things we might be able to do, but he's being a great leader today for sure.
Thanks for your time, Coach.
Thank you.
Get at the half. We'll send things to Ford Championship Live back in the studios, guys.
All right, very good. Thank you, Brett. 31-7, Canadian leading Refugio. Halftime entertainment. The band coming up. Ford halftime show coming up. Getting ready to start the second half here at NRG Stadium. Class 2A football. They do it all, don't they? They play football and they lead the band. Eli Klein from Canadian here.
Yeah, great job of him doing that. He's an offensive lineman, gets some playing time then, but then certainly at halftime he doesn't get to take a rest.
All right, welcome back. Randy McAvoy and Shea Walker with you. Let's talk about this first half, and really a tale of two quarters for Canadian. Really held in check in that first quarter and really displayed the offense that they have done all season long to make it to this championship game. As we take a look at the Ford halftime stats from this first matchup to a Division I and how it all breaks down.
Well, you talk about the momentum shifts in the game, but you see the turnovers are highlighted there. And like I said earlier in the broadcast, if there's anything else that could go wrong for the Bobcats, I'm not sure what it would be. They had an interception return for a pick six in the first quarter. They put the ball on the carpet a couple of times. Special teams has just not really been very good at, and so it's put them in a hole. And then when you do that against a great team like the Canadian Wildcats, then you're going to find yourself where they are on the scoreboard.
Turnovers were a factor in this first half. 3 by Refugio. It started early with the interception by Throgmorton.
Well, Throgmorton read the play beautifully, and you see here, this is Isaiah Perez just doing something to try to make an extra play, get extra yardage, but then the mistakes continue to happen, and Refugio putting the ball on the ground way too much.
Yeah, that last one led to that late field goal attempt, and 3 more points for Tanner Schaefer and the Canadian Wildcats. There's Mr. Schaefer right there, 31-7 edge. This is an offense, Shea, coming in with averaging 55 a game, and he's put it on display here in the second quarter.
Well, it really did. There's Copley on that first grab, Mandy Ramsey on that, and then Chance Cook running a post pattern, and the balls that Schaefer is throwing to those guys, he's putting them right on the spot where they need to be, where only his receivers can catch them. The coverage isn't bad by the Bobcats, but the throws by Schaefer and then the catches by his receivers are better.
Excellent first half by Tanner Schaefer and the Wildcats offense. Right now, let's go to the sidelines, check in with Brett Dolan, standing by with Refugio head coach Jason Herring.
Thanks, Randy. Coach Herring joins us. Coach, your defense played extremely well in the first half, but turnovers and points off turnovers seem to be a problem.
Yeah, you can't turn the ball over against a team this great, but I'm proud of the way our kids battled. Offensively, we got to get something going and be a little more consistent and quit turning the football over.
You've got playmakers. How do you get them in the end zone? I know you've taken a couple of deep shots and just missed on a few.
Yeah, we have open receivers. We've just overthrown them. We just need to settle down and do what we've done all year long, and we'll be fine.
Thanks, Coach. Randy, back up to you.
All right, Brett, thank you very much. There is Jalen Mascoro looking to get things going here in the second half for Refugio. They are down 31-7, and those are not the numbers that he's accustomed to putting up. Credit the Canadian defense today.
Well, the Wildcat defense has been outstanding, Randy, in just really all facets and making sure they are confusing the Refugio offense. They're rushing 3, dropping 8. They're bringing 5, bringing 6, trying to get pressure. So they're mixing it up really well. And right now, Refugio trying to solve the puzzle. And they've had opportunities when they've had receivers downfield, just have not been able to make those connections.
Benigno Heredia will kick it off for Canadian once again. And it'll be a short kick. Fielded at the 18-yard line. And that is being brought out by Austin Moya for Refugio. So the Bobcats get it first here to begin quarter number 3 at NRG Stadium. A 19-yard return by Austin Moya.
Well, good field position for the Bobcats. Exactly how you want to start an offensive drive.
They'll begin on the 37-yard line. So a lot of wildcat in the first half from Isaiah Perez, but Jalen Mascoro is the leader, hands down, for this Refugio offense. First play, pass is caught out to Damon LaFond. Coverage by Nick Dumball. That's a 14-yard pickup on first down.
Well, a really nice play by Mascaro, Randy, avoiding pressure. There was a defender right in his face, but he puts a pirouette spin move around him, rolls out to his right, throws a beautiful ball. Damon LaFond comes up with a catch and a first down.
Out to the 49-yard line. Mascoro crosses midfield. He's got running room to the 45, down near the 40-yard line. So back-to-back plays. Positive yards for Refugio. Cade Throckmorton with the tackle for Canadian.
Well, Throckmorton with the tackle. He chased him from beginning to end as Mascaro got flushed out of the pocket. Good pressure by the Wildcat defense, but a better play by Mascaro as he picks up 9.5 yards. Almost gets a first down.
They'll mark it at the 40. Mascoro looking to throw again. Pass is caught inside the 30-yard line.
LaFond working the sideline again and coming underneath the defensive secondary.
14 more yards on the pass play to LaFond. He's 6'2" target out there. Came in with nearly 500 yards receiving this season.
So working the sideline, lost his concentration there. Actually, check that. That's Dadrian Dukes.
Dukes, the senior, 12 catches, 156 yards against Lovelady. And 13 touchdowns, over 1,000 yards on the season. He's been one of the top targets of Mascoro all year long.
So far, I don't believe he has a reception in this game, and he's one of the guys that you need to get the ball to. Mascaro now on the scramble.
15-yard line. Flag is down. Another nice run by Mascoro. Tackle made by Throckmorton. Trilinger also in there for Canadian. Officiating crew will talk it over here. These guys are from the Fort Worth chapter. It's an honor for them to be here and call a state championship game.
Holding on the offense, number 25. 10 yards from the spot of the foul. Still second down.
And they'll get pushed back now for Refugio back to the
They'll be back at the original
26-yard line.
Of scrimmage, because that holding call came downfield where Mascaro was actually ended up being tackled, was where the penalty was. So spot foul. Now 2nd and 10.
Another flag is down. Mascoro. And he's going to be brought down back at the 33-yard line.
Like Chedester.
Yeah, Corey Chedester led the way there for the Wildcats.
Illegal formation on the offense. 5 in the backfield. 5 yards. Still second down.
Well, that's a break, Randy, because that sack was about a 7-8 yard sack. Now with the walk-off of only 5 yards. Should be 3rd and 15 now for the Bobcats.
Drive started off well for Refugio.
Correction, the result of the play was loss of yardage. Canadian has elected to decline the penalty. It'll bring up 3rd down.
Much better call, and you can see Coach Keddy making sure that he got over to the officiating crew as soon as he heard what the results were. We want the play.
A little clarification there. There's Mascoro now. This is on 3rd and 17. Looking downfield. That's going to be picked off.
Copley.
That's Cameron Copley right there. That's his 6th interception of the season.
A little bit of a desperation throw by Jalen Mascaro, and on 3rd and whatever it was, 17, 18 yards, really not that bad of a play, because you're going to see the interception by Copley happens in the end zone. So the Wildcats will have to start scrimmage at the 20-yard line. Not a bad play. Give your wide receiver a chance to see if he can go up and make a play. Copley with great coverage there in his 6th pick of the season.
Yeah, the intended receiver was Les Rhodes. He got kind of twisted around on that, and Copley, good positioning for interception number 6 on the year. Tanner Schaefer out to Copley, and he's brought down close to the 20-yard line. We'll mark it probably at the 19. So 31-7 lead for Canadian. That first drive, Bobcats were moving and come up short. And the defense, again, the challenge of stopping this Wildcats offense that really came alive in that second quarter. Here's Chance Cook, 25, crosses the 30, out near the 35-yard line. Tough run by Chance Cook. Austin Moya brings him down for Refugio.
It's a really nice job there. Yeah, by Cook. Randy, 1,800 yards on the season coming into today's game. Does a great job of just stringing this play out. Patient run. Knows that he's going to get a block downfield. Turns it up for the first down.
There's Schaefer downfield. He's got a wide open Manny Ramsey. Pass is caught, and he's brought down at the 21.
Let's make this offense by the Wildcats so incredibly dangerous, and they're trying to snap the ball as quickly as possible. You see that whole offensive front has already run down the length of the field to get in position.
44 yards on that pass play from Schaefer to Ramsey. Handoff. It's Chance Cook. Big yards down to the 10. Jamel Lafon, Nate Smith with the tackle, but not before Chance Cook picked up 11 more. First and 10, just like that. Canadian strikes again. Touchdown pass, Tanner Schaefer. Cameron Copley, 11 yards.
I think it'd be the classic understatement of the day so far that Tanner Schaefer feels comfortable in this offense, but you see how effective he is, Randy, getting the offensive lineman to the line of scrimmage, making sure everybody's got the call, but doing all of that and still going fast. Comes up and he throws another beautiful pass right down the middle. Copley comes up with another grab.
Point after from Heredia is up and good. 5 plays, 81 yards. Took a minute 8. And Canadian strikes again here, now 38-7.
On the defense, at penalties declined, results are good.
Air Canada at it again. Canadian strikes to open this second half. Tanner Schaefer, Cameron Copley in the end zone. 38-7 here in the third. Back live at NRG Stadium, 9:11 to go, third quarter. Now 38-7. There is Cameron Copley right there. He's had a big day offensively and defensively, Shea. And that's what he's done all year. 6 catches, 56 yards. And that last touchdown for Copley from Tanner Schaefer. And Canadian is blowing this thing wide open here.
Well, getting very comfortable. This is a fast-paced offense. Opposing teams know what's coming. It's just incredibly difficult to stop.
Heredia will kick it off for Canadian. And good special teams there, met shy of the 20-yard line. That was Casey Henderson bringing it out for Refugio. Copley is right there on the tackle. For more on Mr. Copley, let's check in once again with Brett Dolan.
Guys, he's 145 pounds. You mentioned he's a two-way player. I was waiting to see him come off. He didn't. He stayed on to cover during special teams. So he's a two-way player plus. And by the way, he's a big part of the state basketball team that won the championship last year. So he's a little bit late for basketball practice. If they could win the football championship today, he'll have a little catch-up to do and maybe be a two-way player there as well.
Absolutely, yeah. What a great story last year. Just brief rest after winning a state title, then into basketball, and they go on to win that state title. Several guys on this team play basketball as well. And I guess you see that in these small towns. Multiple sports is pretty common by these guys.
Well, I'm saying if you're playing for a state championship, I think the coaches will take the excused absence for not being in basketball practice. But that is quite a feat by the Wildcats to win the basketball state championship and now have an opportunity to go back-to-back in football.
Second down and 8 now for Refugio. Pressure on Mascoro. Gets away from that. He's met there at the 20, and he is tripped up and tackle made by Eduardo Paz.
Randy, you see why this defense for Canadian is just so special, allowing 7 points per game through the first 15 games. And just the way that they play, the discipline, the lane discipline by their defensive linemen, that second wave of linebackers who stay so incredibly close to the line of scrimmage and make sure that they're bottling up and not going to get hit by the big play.
Now their defensive coordinator is Andy Cavalier. And I'll tell you what, Chris Ketting, very high on him. Happy to have him on the staff. Pass is incomplete there. Dukes was the intended receiver. You're talking to Coach Ketting, Shea, and he was talking about, really raving about his defense, called it a really swarming defense. And he said, listen, they play with effort, they play with confidence, they play with passion, and that's what it's all about. And the numbers really speak for themselves of what they've been able to do in this playoff run alone. They've given up only 56 points, 5 playoff games total.
Yeah, Randy, one of the
punts, little short punt, hits at the 41. So you got a piece of that one. Great field position again coming up for Canadian. 15-yard punt there. Well, you see a lot of the emergence of social media, Canadian in on that as well. And when you see on social media these guys, their defense, when they're referencing the defense, it's always hashtag Blackade. That's their nickname, Blackade. And on offense, it's the hashtag Air Canada is what they like to go by. And it's been catchy for all those that follow Canadian football. There's Schaefer again downfield near the 10-yard line. Pass was intended for Chance Cook, and coverage by Jamel Lafon.
Well read by Lafon. They're trying to sneak Chance Cook out the left side of the offensive formation. Run him on the wheel route, got him down the sideline. Looked like he might have had an opportunity. But Lafon comes over, breaks the pass up. Good defensive effort there.
Break it down to Canadian possession so far today. I tell you what, held in check those first 5. Last several has produced 24 points. Tanner Schaefer, 6'4", 185-pound senior. What a season he has had coming into today. 46 touchdowns, just 2 interceptions. The 2015 AP Player of the Year in Class 2A.
Well, and add to that, completing 78% of his passes. And you see another great catch, another good throwing catch. Copley on the receiving end again.
What about field position for Canadian? Really taking advantage of that. They've had 3 of their last 4 possessions in Refugio territory.
Yeah, you hear the fans cheering. They like this kicker. He's got a little cult following at Canadian.
He's a celebrity
yes,
there.
Sir.
Benigno Heredia, he's got the big leg, and they're going to give it a look right here. They're going to mark it at the 36. So a 46-yard field goal attempt for the senior, Benigno Heredia, who moved here from Mexico 3 years ago. Snap is good. We'll see if there's enough on it. And there is plenty of distance there for Benigno Heredia. How about that leg, huh?
Well, you know, when things just fall into your lap, you got to believe Coach Ketting is just so incredibly happy Heredia showed up and is a Canadian Wildcat.
41-7 Canadian, third quarter here at NRG Stadium. 41-7, Canadian leading Refugio. 6:41 to go, third quarter. Class 2A Division I state championship. 3 days of outstanding football on tap here. We started off here this morning with an early 10 a.m. kickoff between Canadian and Refugio. Football all day here at NRG Stadium. Nino Heredia with the deep kick. Refugio trying to make something happen, but again, special teams has been a great story today for Canadian, getting the job done. And the Bobcats get it back on offense, a 21-yard kickoff return. Let's check in once again with Brett Dolan with more on that young man, Benigno Heredia.
Well, you saw him kick the ball to the end zone there on that kickoff. Now, the field goal was from 46. Watching him at the end of warm-ups, he knocked one through from 54. The entire Refugio team turned around to watch him kick one through. And by the way, guys, the very first game he ever saw, he played in as far as kicking in the football. So it's been quite an experience for him.
Yeah, what a great story, and really fun hearing what Coach Ketting had to say about him. And in a small town, how these guys are heroes to a lot of people, and Benigno Heredia certainly has a fan club. There he is.
And I think Coach Ketting told us that he was comfortable with letting him kick it from 55 yards. So Brett said he made one from 54. And I don't think at this point in the ballgame he'd be afraid to let him have an opportunity to do something like that.
All the smiles as he came off the sidelines. They were fired up for him.
Oh, the fans too. Everybody in that section stood on their feet cheering him.
2nd and 11. Pass is caught. That's Les Rhodes, the senior for the Bobcats. It's a 21-yard pickup on the pass play from Mascaro to Rhodes.
And that time, Jalen Mascaro had some time to throw the ball, Randy, so that was a deep developing route. Rhodes broke it back across the middle. Nice pickup, but got to have a sense of urgency right now if you're the Bobcats offensively.
1st and 10. Mascaro stays in bounds out near the 47-yard line. Corey Chedester making the stop for Canadian. Talking with Coach Herring, Shea, on our conference call, it was interesting as he kind of laid out the season. Early in the year, you know, he was down on these guys. He wasn't getting the response that he wanted, but he said, you know what, it was an amazing last 5 weeks of the season, and it was a uniform change of all things. It kind of woke up this team. He said, I don't know, other than we changed uniforms. And these guys said, you know what, Coach, it feels like the playoffs here. And they've been focused ever since to their run here to the state championship, Bobcats.
I mean, you talk about these two teams. This was probably the easiest pick out of any of the classifications that Canadian and Refugio would be playing in the state championship game. Now, they both had their humps to get over. Stratford, a very tough district opponent for Canadian, and they also had to face them in the playoffs. And, of course, now for Refugio, they had to dispatch Mason and Shiner en route to get to this game, and both of them did it in grand fashion.
That was covered there by Mario Flores. But remember, he went out early in that first half with that knee, and he was getting iced down on the sideline. So good to see him back out there on the field. Yeah, the uniform change that Coach Herring was referencing was on week 10 when they played Weimar. And they got that victory and never looked back during their playoff run. 2nd down and 10. Mascaro getting nothing downfield. The secondary of Canadian really doing a nice job of these receivers. Mascaro takes a hit, lunges forward to the 30. That's an 11-yard pickup. Eduardo Paz and Sawyer Cook with the stop for Canadian.
Yeah, Mascaro delivering a blow as he scrambles out. Take another look at this one. He's going to lower his shoulder and make a couple of guys pay, wanting to make sure if they really want to tackle him or not. Sawyer Cook, after he takes the hit, hangs on, gets some help from Paz, but good first down conversion or run right there from Mascaro.
Refugio entered today 13-2. Their losses to Shiner, also to Cameron Yo in the regular season. Cameron Yo will play later today for a state championship. Pass is caught over the middle, and that's going to be a touchdown for Refugio of 30 yards to Dadrin Dukes. Jalen Mascaro, excellent pass. Dukes went up to get it, takes it home for the touchdown.
You talk about putting touch on a pass. Take another look. This is going to sail right over the top of the hand of Sawyer Cook into the hands of Dadrian Dukes. Dukes, as you said, Randy, in the semifinal game against Lovelady, had a big game with 12 catches. And how about the effort there after making the grab, fighting off the tackle from Copley, getting it into the end zone.
Marcus Arredondo with the point after. It's going to be blocked by Canadian.
Chance Cook.
Chance Cook got a hand on it. An extra point denied. .430 to go third quarter, so it's 41-13. 7 plays, 79 yards on the touchdown. Let's take a look at the rest of the day now here at the Football State Championships. Next up is going to be Albany and Bremond, and Brock Cameron Yo at 5 o'clock as Cameron Yo goes for a 4th straight title. Wascom and Franklin wrapping up tonight. 3A Division II, 8 o'clock kickoff scheduled here at NRG Stadium.
And we're just getting warmed up, Randy.
We are. We're starting the day here. 2A Division II is next, as I mentioned. Albany and Bremond. This is a rematch from a year ago. Bremond Tigers looking for their first state title since '81. Albany wouldn't go down easy. Drew Neese's 1-yard sneak made it 21-7 Lions. But Bremond stormed back thanks to Rashad Paul. First on the keeper, and then through traffic, 35 yards for the touchdown. Then with over a minute remaining in the game, Paul again found space to the end zone, made it 28-21. Tigers held on to claim the Class 2A Division II state championship, and they will meet again in game number 2 here at NRG Stadium.
Well, what a great finish last year by the Bremond Tigers. Rashad Paul, a very dynamic quarterback. It seems like we're talking a lot of quarterbacks so far today, but certainly he is one of them, and he belongs in that group. Led his team back to 21 points last year, Randy, with just over 8 minutes in that game to pull out the victory.
Furio will kick it off. Royce is back for Canadian, but this is going to be a short kick again, a onside kick. Loose ball.
Got a chance.
Still loose. Refugio recovers at the 49. They're going to get the football back. Well, you're down 41-13. You do anything it takes to get that ball back.
Yes.
And we'll see if they can get something going here.
Les Rhodes, this is a great kick, by the way. Take a look at how many times this ball bounces and then how high it goes after hitting one of the return men, and then the ball's on the ground. Les Rhodes, wide receiver, defensive back, comes up with the ball, and Refugio now battling near the 50-yard line.
Logan Godino had his hands on it first, then took the big hit. Bobcats heads up. You see the total yard breakdown between these two teams. So 49-yard line. It's a 41-13 lead for Canadian. Here, 4:25 mark of the third quarter. They'll talk it over here. Want to tell you about tonight and every night. Don't miss the Fox Sports Live as they bring you news and highlights from throughout the NBA, plus everything else in the world of sports. Fox Sports Live every night, only on FS1 and streaming live on Fox Sports Go.
You know, Randy, as we're talking about the Bobcats right now trying to scratch and claw their way back into this game, we've seen receivers at times for the Bobcats get behind defenders, but just not able to connect Mascaro downfield to his receivers. We've seen Dukes. We've also seen Les Rhodes, first play of the game, first offensive play after the Bobcats had converted that first down on 4th down. They had Les Rhodes behind the secondary, just not able to come up with the catch. And right now, Bobcats need to see if they can hit some of those plays and give their wide receivers an opportunity.
There's Mascaro, and he is first met, nearly brought down on the play by Huffstedler. Still on his feet, looking for his receiver, nearly picked off, though, by Nick Dumbo.
Wow, how strong is Jalen Mascaro? I mean, I thought for sure he was going to be brought down. Several guys had a shot at him. Huffstedler amongst 3 or 4 other Wildcat defenders, not able to bring him down. He's able to keep the play alive. Take another look. Holton Huffstedler gets there first, and he's got a good grab on him, and Mascaro just doesn't go down. A couple of other guys take shots, and then he makes a dangerous pass. There's
Second down
deep
and
ball.
10. Again, had an open Adrian Dukes. Little too much on that one. Brings up a 3rd down now for Refugio. Bobcats 1 of 10 on 3rd down so far today. Jason Herring, 9th season on the job, as I mentioned. 190 and 48 over 18 years as a head coach.
False start, 6 on the offense, 5 yards, still 3rd down.
Refugio defense started off strong, had that early interception, but overall really held Canadian in check in the first quarter. Well, the Wildcats got things rolling offensively in the second quarter. And they're up big now, 41-13. Mascaro, nothing downfield, and he's going to be met back at the 28-yard line. That's Holton Huffstedler, who just missed him a couple plays ago. We got a flag down now. We'll see what it's all about.
Well, somehow Jalen Mascaro found a way to get rid of the ball. Not sure if this is going to be grounding or not. It looked like he might have gotten the ball into the vicinity of a receiver.
There's no foul for intentional grounding. Number 22 was in the area. 4th down.
Herculean effort there by Mascaro. Take a look at how many white jerseys. And I'm talking about these are big guys, big, strong guys all over him. Huffstedler again. 3, 4, 5 guys, and still finds a way to get rid of the ball and save some field position.
Yeah, he's battling down there. He and Holton Huffstedler. Huffstedler's had his hands on him most of the afternoon, it seems like. Leading tackler, number 66. You just saw him there in the picture. Bringing the heat on Mascaro. There's just not a lot downfield for Mascaro this passing game, and the secondary is doing a number on him from Canadian. Well, we told you just a couple minutes ago about that rematch in Game 2, Bremont and Albany, featuring 2 outstanding quarterbacks. I can't wait to see these guys play, Shay. You got Drew Neese, and you got, for Bremont, Rashad Paul. The numbers speak for themselves. They produce for these offenses, and they will go head-to-head in game number 2 here this afternoon for the 2A Division II state championship. So a 4th down now coming up for Refugio, after Mascaro was able to get that pass off.
And this is a very interesting formation by Refugio.
Dukes in motion. There's Mascaro. They go for it here. They need 15 to get a 1st down. Mascaro all the way downfield, and that's going to be picked off by Chance Cook near the 5-yard line. Cook has some running room. We've got a flag down back at the 20. Cook on his feet, and he's out of bounds, just shy of midfield. A 40-yard return by Chance Cook.
Oh, it's another flag down too, right on that Canadian sideline.
Now tippers flaring on both sides after that hit. Coach Ketting getting his guys off the field, back to the sidelines.
The first flag is going to be either blocking the back or holding on the return team. There's actually 3 flags on the field now that we're looking. And the last flag, I believe, Randy, is going to be a personal foul, dead ball penalty. just because it happened well after the play, and as you said, a little bit of a jawboning going on between the two teams.
It's been a struggle of a day for Jalen Mascoro.
We have 2 fouls on the play. During the run back, we have a face mask, 22 black. After the play, we have an unsportsmanlike number 2 black. That's his first unsportsmanlike of the second half.
Aubrey Oliver flagged for both penalties for Refugio. After that 40-yard interception return from Chance Cook. Well, tempers flared on the sidelines, and Chris Ketting, the head coach of Canadian, stepping up and pulling Eduardo Paz over for a few words.
Oh, it's going to end up with that fantastic field position for an offense that's hot as fire right now. But it's really difficult for any defense to give an offense this prolific. Great starting field position, and the Wildcats are scrimmaging from their 27-yard line.
3:37 to go, third quarter. Already a 41-13 lead for Canadian. Looking for more. Schaefer kicks it out to Chance Cook down the sidelines. Cooks takes it home for the touchdown.
One play scoring drives. Very efficient offensively. Obviously got a lot of help on that play with the field position. Chance Cook, after hauling in that touchdown reception in the first half, finds the end zone again on the option play.
Benigno Heredia will attempt the point after. Chance Cook entered today 31 touchdowns on the ground. And that is his first, I believe, for today. What a season he has had, coming in with over 2,000 yards and 31 touchdowns. They spread the wealth on the offensive side. Right now, let's check in once again with Brett Dolan. Brett.
Happy Superintendent Kyle Lynch of Canadian joins us. He's a championship coach as well, two state titles, and he has the bling on to prove it right now. First of all, explain the logistics of getting a team from the Panhandle 9 hours away for a Thursday 10 a.m. game.
Well, it takes some planning, no doubt about it. And you know, we felt like all along that this team had a chance to do some special things. So we've been working on it for a while. But at the same time, boy, it's a quick turnaround from a Friday game to a Thursday 10 a.m. And but we did pre-sale tickets, and we got lots of people involved. And you know, I'll be honest with you, we'd have driven to Canada to play a state championship. So we're, you know, the 600-mile thing, it wasn't a big deal.
What would back-to-back state championships mean to your community?
Well, it means an awful lot. You know, our community backs our kids so much in everything that they do, and we take pride in being successful and supporting our kids in everything that they do. And so, it would be special. But it's you know, in a lot of ways, it's just a tribute to our kids and how hard they've worked, and our coaches and all the things that they've done.
Guys, the best line I heard about Canadian, you have to drive 100 miles to even buy underwear. Well, these fans have driven a lot more than that to see their team possibly go back-to-back at state championship games.
All right, great stuff, Brett. Yeah, the fan support is amazing from Canadian. Doesn't matter where they play. He's right. If it was in Canada, they'd be there.
I had a feeling. There was a sense about that school would not mind, that community would not mind wherever they had to go to play a state championship.
Yeah, the numbers on Chance Cook today: 13 carries, 85 yards, and that touchdown.
24 points.
30-yard line.
Randy, that the Wildcats have scored off of turnovers.
Chance Cook has one through the air and now on the ground, 2 for the day. So many weapons on the Wildcat side. Very difficult to stop. And this defense, which Chris Ketting says is the real story of their team, has really shown up today.
You put up 61 points in the semifinals against a very good Crawford Pirate team, and all you talk about is your defense.
Holton Huffstedler
with this tackle on Isaiah Perez. They've held Perez in check. He's been a little bit out of the Wildcat, but coming in with nearly 1,000 yards, and they've shut him down today. Second down and 8. Mascaro, pass is caught out to Dukes. Big dump ball on the coverage for Canadian. Holds on to it. And he is met quickly. Paz in there for Canadian. Also helping the cause was Cooper Trollinger.
And Randy, what looks,
seniors.
Yeah, one of the things that makes this defense for Canadians so successful is that they've got 3 or 4 guys that are always around the ball. And you saw right there on that play, it looked like there might have been a little bit more running room for Mascaro, but defensively, he has to hop it out and pop to the outside to try to make something happen. And again, the pressure by the Wildcat defense.
That's Bailey Urschel on the sack of loss of 7.
Chedister saying he's got the ball. But of course, Mascaro was ruled down. But this defense for the Wildcats has just been impressive. Not just in this game, but you look at what they've done all season.
Well, Canadians held Refugio to just 83 rushing yards today. 165 through the air from Mascaro. And on the offensive side, Canadian about to hit the 300 mark. 3rd and 15 now. That's going to be another interception. Chance Cook again. And he's got some space. Blockers in front of him. Cook crosses the 40 out near the 45-yard line before the tackle is made by Damon LaFon. That's a 14-yard return on the interception by Chance Cook.
Well, another good throw there by Mascaro. You're going to throw it out in a way you got to get it out of bounds. Really, the only guy that had an opportunity was Chance Cook, the senior. Comes up with another pick.
Cook checking out the replay on the big screen here at NRG Stadium.
I think more importantly, he's taking a breather because you know he does play on offense as well after that long run after the interception.
As Schaefer pass is caught. That's Sawyer Cook still on his feet. He's picked up an extra 15 yards, maybe more, with 3 Bobcats on top of him.
Randy, there's a flag on the play around the 42-yard line.
That one covered 39 yards from Sawyer Cook.
Yeah, Cook, a good receiver. Plays mostly in the tight end or the inside receiver. 58 catches, 839 yards on the season coming into the game. 6'2", 195 pounds. You can see him carrying a couple of defenders with him.
We have 2 penalties on the defense on the play. We have face mask, number 13. That penalty's declined. Face mask, number 32. That'll be accepted. Half the distance to the goal line, automatic first down.
Now 2 face mask penalties on Austin Moya, also on Trevor Neiman. While you see Sawyer Cook, look at that run. Wow.
Well, Moya just trying to make a play. He did get the face mask, but he let go of it very quickly. But the Wildcats now great field position.
Pass from Schaefer. That's Copley, and it's another Canadian touchdown. 9-yard strike.
But when you're in rhythm and you're in stride offensively, it's a beautiful thing. And right now the Wildcats are there. Very nice throw right there from Schaefer. Again, this is one of those another passes. I'll call it low and away. The defenders got great coverage. But Copley, as he's closing down near the sideline, the ball's delivered perfectly. Snags it right before getting out of bounds. Another touchdown for the Wildcats.
Benigno Heredia point after. And that is a 55-13 lead now for Canadian. They have hit their average. They came in averaging 55 a game, and they are there late in the third quarter. What a day that Tanner Schaefer is turning in. Copley as well, 8 catches, 69 yards, 2 touchdowns. You see what he's done on defense as well. That's a good day at the office right there for Cameron Copley.
Well, and as Brett Dolan said, I mean, he's also covering kicks. You see him on the kickoff team.
Let's take a look at this play of the drive, really, when you look at it. The completion to Sawyer Cook, and really any young player watching this is an example. You keep moving those legs and see what you can get out of it.
Keep them moving. Great job, and he's got the momentum.
A little help from Manny Ramsey, too.
Yep.
Give Manny Ramsey a little credit, keeping that moving.
The impressive thing about that, Randy, too, again, is once you have a big play, generally, it's not where players take a play up, but you get a little bit of high five and something. You see those offensive linemen, man, they're immediately going to the ball, to where the line of scrimmage is going to be. I mean, they are trying to get the snaps. They know how to take advantage when a defense is tired, and they're executing their offense to perfection. Yeah, Schaefer, what a day for him. 13 for 17, wow. 213 yards and 3 touchdowns.
Heredia, the big kick. Now they'll go through the end zone. Really impressed with the leg of Benigno Heredia. As advertised from Coach Ketting, he said, you're going to see a very good kicker at NRG Stadium, and he is not disappointed.
Yeah, man, he's got his own fan club, as you said earlier. And he's got his own sheet hanging there, his sign. He's the only player.
Got his family over there.
Yeah, hey, man, look, there you go.
And there is Mr. Heredia right there. He's a senior, and again moved here from Mexico 3 years ago. Coach Kenny said he's got the leg of 50, 52 yards on a regular basis.
Oh, and Eduardo Paz, Randy, defensively. This Wildcat defense not even taking a break. Getting downhill, downfield pressure. Negative play of 7-8 yards. Bobcats offensively trying to find something. Positive plays.
Third quarter winding down now. 2nd and 16. Mascoro looking, nothing there. He takes the hit at the 20 and fortunately holds on to the football. Corey Chedister right there with a tackle for Canadian.
Chedister hustling from behind is able to get Mascaro, and time will run out in the third quarter.
Well, you look at quarter 2 and 3, it has been all Canadian. After that slow start, they have woken up offensively and defensively, in control. 1 quarter away from winning another state championship. We're going to the 4th here at NRG. Canadian leading Refugio 55-13. All right, breaking it down so far here to a Division I. The story early, Shea Walker, that early turnover, the interception, got him on the board for that touchdown.
And that was such a big play for the Wildcats, and really didn't do much the first quarter. Second quarter, Chance Cook on that laser from Schaefer. Schaefer taking it in now, doing it own work of the ground game. And then Copley coming up with another nice grab for a touchdown, and the Wildcats have been on a roll ever since the second quarter.
Absolutely, they have 55-13 as we start the 4th quarter here at NRG Stadium. It's going to be a 3rd and 12 for Refugio. They're 1 for 12 on 3rd down conversions today.
Well, 3rd and 12s, 3rd and longs are very difficult to convert anyway. But then if you add a defense like the Wildcats, putting that type of pressure on you makes it even more difficult. And now Mascara on the run again.
Yeah, look at downfield, still nothing there. And he's going to be brought down just shy of the 20-yard line. Levi Long with the tackle for Canadian.
Wildcat defense downfield, good coverage, and front seven just coming in waves at Mascaro. And he's an elusive guy. I mean, you see him spinning out, and it looks like he's got room, but every time he gets to an area where it looks like he might have an opportunity to break something, there's 1 or 2 or 3 white shirts that show up.
Fourth and 16 now. Bobcats with no choice but to go for it. From the 19, they'll punt it away. That'll land at the 40 and gets a Canadian bounce around the 43-yard line. Jalen Mascaro, 38-yard punt there. And you see the yard breakdown. Since that slow start by Canadian, very few teams slow these Wildcats down. Refugio did early, and Canadian has been racking up yards, 343 since that point. And Refugio has found yards hard to come by as well. Canadians scored on their last 7 possessions of this game.
Randy, they've gotten really good field position either by penalty or defensive plays that has allowed them to have short fields. In an offense this prolific, you can't give that type of field position, because if you do, then you're going to see results like you do right now with Canadian having 55 points, as you said, scoring on their last 7 drives.
Obi Herring with the tackle for Refugio. Yeah, the last 7 possessions, 5 touchdowns, 2 field goals for Canadian. 2nd and 3, Schaefer. Intended receiver was Copley, and coverage there by Les Rhodes. Got a flag down, a couple of flags down actually. Les Rhodes, and one of the many players going both ways for these Refugio Bobcats, along with Canadian.
Holding, defense number 4. 10 yards from the previous spot, first down.
Well, going over 50 points in the postseason, nothing new for Canadian. They've had 50 or more in 5 of the 6 playoff games. You see the last 7 possessions we talked about, 5 touchdowns, 2 field goals. They do not waste time getting points on the board. They rack up quickly. 1st and 10 now, Schaefer. A rare drop, that's Manny Ramsey. That's going to bring up 2nd down now. Ramsey coming in. 50 catches on the season for 743 yards, 7 touchdowns. He's a junior, so he'll be coming back along with Cameron Copley next year. Schaefer and Chance Cook, Ryan Royce, all seniors.
And then Ramsey coming up with that great sideline catch. He's going to be out of bounds, but another great job. We've seen him earlier, Randy, in the first half on the Refugio sideline. He's got a defender draped all over him. Body is staying in bounds, but he's leaning out over the boundary. He still comes up with the grab. Now 3rd and 10, as you talk about Schaefer, 78% completion rate this year.
13 of 19 today, very efficient for 215 yards. 3rd and 10, and that one intended for Ryan Royce.
They could put the jinx on by saying the completion rate was so high.
Now they have 2 drops.
Yeah, Ramsey dropped one, and now Ryan Royce, reliable hands, 41 catches on the year.
Chris Moya on the coverage on that play, the sophomore for Refugio.
I wonder right now, just for a second, do you think it's in Coach Ketting's head to try a what would it be, 39, 49, 59-yard field goal?
Might be a little bit out of his range. I mean, what he had a 55-yarder pregame? Is that what Brett was saying? And his normal range, 50 to 52, is what they feel like.
Yaten Wills. Yeah, going to get flagged for a little excessive celebration. He came up with a great play on Schaefer.
Yeah.
Then gave a little.
Little did you know the referee was standing right next to him. It's like, you can't do that, young man.
It'll be a dead ball foul, so it should turn over to Refugio.
Face mask.
Oh.
Defense. 15 yards. Automatic first down.
Wow. Did not see the face mask. You didn't see Schaefer hop up like anything was wrong on the tackle.
And people weren't sure if that was going to be an unsportsmanlike or a face mask. We got another flag down as well. There's some jawing going on the field right now.
Well, there's a lot of frustration
between Wills and Schaefer on that last play.
After the play, we have unsportsmanlike. Number 10, Black. That's his first unsportsmanlike of the game. Half the distance. First down.
Yeah, the Bobcats shooting themselves in the foot right now.
That's on Jacoby Avery, the sophomore linebacker for Refugio, unsportsmanlike. That's now pushed all the way down to the 12-yard line. 10 penalties now for Refugio. Just 2 today for Canadian. So 1st and 10 from the 12-yard line. Pressure on Schaefer, and down he goes close to the 24. And Wills gets credit for the sack there for the Bobcats. It's a loss of 9.
And a good job by not doing his little hand. Well, he is doing a little bit of a hand sign, but not as pronounced as the prior play.
I think he kind of looked around a little bit, make sure nobody's standing next to him.
I think his coach probably, defensive coordinator Eli Boxell probably just made sure that he knew what he was doing. He does a good job getting pressure coming up with the sack.
2nd and 19, hand off to Cook. It's a good block there at the 18, and he's down close to the 10. He's knocked out of bounds. Let's see where they mark it.
Yeah, Randy, there's a guy that was leading that block, Logan Godino. And if you remember when we were talking to Coach Ketting on the phone, I said, Coach, looking down your offensive line, I see a center that's 160 pounds. Am I reading that right? And he said, he started laughing, said, yes, you are. And right then, Godino was leading the play. We're leading Chance Cook down around the left edge. Said he was a scrappy. You got to be scrappy if you're a center and only 160 pounds.
And you're wearing that big number 75 jersey.
Yes. More girth than you are, but just the perimeter of the numbers.
Schaefer. That pass is broken up near the goal line. Pass intended for Royce. Daedra Duke stepped up for Refugio.
That's a dangerous throw back across the body, and Schaefer trying to make something happen on 3rd down. And you see the cheers going up for the kicker. Benino
Heredia back in. They will mark this at the 21, so a 31-yard field goal. Heredia's hit a 25-yarder, that big 46-yarder with plenty more room to go on that 46-yard attempt. That one up and good. Just makes it look easy, doesn't it?
Right down Main Street. Effortless.
With every kick, the fan club grows for Benigno Heredia. 3 more for Canadian. 58-13. 4th quarter here in Houston. The UIL State Football Championship is brought to you by DQ, the stop sign of Texas. For the best treats, eats, and drinks in Texas, stop at DQ. By Ford, visit your Texas Ford dealer today. Ford is the best in Texas. And by EnergizeHouston.org. 2-year degree, 6-figure salary, one incredible career. 58-13 Canadian. There is the Benigno Heredia fan club, the family. They're here to support the kicker.
Man.
What a day he's had.
Oh, you're going to have to pan all the way up to get the fan club.
Short kick, fielded at the 35. That's by Damon LaFon. The Bobcats will get it now. 9:18 to go here, fourth quarter. 2A Division I state championship. Start to a very big day here. First of 3 days of football at NRG Stadium. It all wraps up on Saturday night. Crowds will continue to build each and every day. And 2008, Shea Walker, last time the state championship game was held here at NRG Stadium. A doubleheader on that particular day before they went to one site. A lot of coaches and fans happy to make the trip to the Houston area.
Well, there's a lot of familiar names in these playoffs. Katy Tigers, Gary Joseph. Somehow, some way, well, I'm going to call it, I need to be a little bit more accurate. With an outstanding running game and a defense to die for, the Katy Tigers.
10 shutouts this season.
Oh, it's unbelievable. They have just been playing so incredibly well, and this is their fourth trip.
Well, they've got Lake Travis in that championship game on Saturday night. A lot of people looking forward to that one as well. You've got other 6A game, Converse Judson and North Shore.
That'd be Westlake, Austin Westlake.
I should say Austin Westlake and North Shore.
Westlake and North Shore.
Converse Judson was last week.
Yep.
You got Cedar Park and you got Lone Star out of Frisco. We've seen a lot of teams. You look at all the teams that have made it here. Teams that have not necessarily played varsity football for very long.
Well, that's going to be.
They've made it to the state championship game.
Yep, that'll be that 5A Division I game that you and I'll be calling on Friday night between George Ranch and Lake Ridge from Mansfield.
Take a look at the schedule coming up tomorrow here at NRG Stadium. Argyle and La Vega, 4A Division I. It starts at 12 noon. 4 o'clock game. Should be a good one as well. Salina and West Orange Stark. Lake Ridge, George Ranch. You and I will be there for this one. 5A Division I. Scheduled for 8 o'clock. Occasionally the games run a little later. We'll see how the day progresses, but fans will file in as the weekend hits here at NRG Stadium. Now you got Austin Westlake, you mentioned them. Todd Dodge, what a job he has done as head coach there, and we know his history in high school ranks.
Well, and for our Texas high school football fans, the Westlake Chaparrals defeated the Allen Eagles. The Allen Eagles on that great run streak, 3-time defending state champion.
Right. There's a lineup on Saturday, 12 noon, 4 and 8. The kickoff times for 5A Division II and the pair of 6A championship games. All wraps up with Lake Travis and Katy on Saturday night. We had some games here at NRG Stadium. Looks like.
And a game of inches on fourth down.
Wow.
The Bobcats come up 2 links of the chain short.
Yeah, several games played here over the course of the last 2 weeks. Last weekend we had Converse Judson making the trip here to Houston to face a very good North Shore team. Cedar Park.
Well, John Kay.
Mr. Ridge was here
at North Shore in his second season at
Excellent job.
the helm. Been on the staff for a long time and now got his team playing for a state championship. And you said Todd Dodge earlier from Westlake High School in his second year. That'll be the 6A Division I game on Saturday. Look like the Wildcats now offensively will be fairly content to just run the ball in the middle of the field.
Approaching the 7-minute mark here in the fourth. Seen a lot of fans from Bremont and Albany making their way into the stadium as well. Checking out much of the second half. Pass is caught. That's Manny Ramsey, running room inside the 20 before he shoved out of bounds.
Nope, this drive started with the run right up the middle, and then Manny Ramsey goes in motion from right to left, and then a missed tackle in the open field and allows him to pick up a lot more yards down the sideline. Good spin move right there, moving away from the defender and picks up big yards. Wildcats offense, I said, just in such rhythm today.
Schaefer rolling, firing to the end zone, looking for Ryan Royce. Just a little too high on that one. Dater Duke's coverage for Refugio. Looked like Royce may have got a hand on him.
Well, it was good defense at first, Randy, and the Refugio Bobcat secondary had the receivers covered. But because Tanner Schaefer was able to extend the play and break it out to the right-hand side, it allowed a receiver to break a little bit open. Royce not able to come up with the grab, but still good defense. But because of Schaefer's legs and athleticism getting to the outside, it actually allowed a receiver to get just a little bit open.
There's Cook. He's in trouble at the 20, and he's going to be brought down. That last catch from Ramsey gave him 4 in the ball game. He's at 99 yards. Manny Ramsey. Nice job defensively as well for Ramsey. And a long season for whether you win or lose. When you're playing 16 weeks in a season, it takes its toll. You know, a lot of bumps and bruises along the way, injuries to deal with. And these teams just keep grinding it out. There's Kobe Herring and got that shoulder strapped up. It takes a lot to keep you out of a state championship game.
And a heads-up play right there by Tanner Schaefer. That play was blown up immediately. Very well diagnosed by the Bobcats defense, and he just immediately grounds the ball. Which Benigno gonna get to trot back on the field. I don't think he was ready for that, actually. Had to find his helmet. But he's out there now, ready to go.
All right, another field goal attempt from Benigno Heredia. This is going to be a 35-yard field goal. He has had a very busy day, extra points and field goal attempts. There's Heredia right down the middle again. Really like the way he kicks.
Yep, great height on the ball. That's his 4th field goal in this game, I believe.
And you see a lot of these players that come here to the state championships have been offered college scholarships, being recruited. If you're a coach, you're looking at this young man. You need a kicker.
Absolutely.
Not a bad choice at all. All right, here's our DQ big play of the game. So many to choose from. How about this one early on, Chip?
Well, Cade Throckmorton early on set the tone defensively for this game, and Canadian Wildcat defense has been superb ever since he made that play. Again, that was on the first drive by the Bobcats, Randy. They converted on 4th and short. They come back, they make that play, and Throckmorton, goes, makes a great play, picks it off, gets it in the end zone, and then the tenor of the game and the momentum all shifted and changed, and it's been the Wildcats ever since.
A quiet Refugio sideline. It has not been the Bobcats' day here at NRG Stadium. NRG Stadium here in Houston. Welcome into our UIL State Football Championship coverage. Randy McAvoy, Shea Walker, Brett Dolan with you. Class 2A Division I State Championship. Canadian rolling 61-13 over Refugio. Start to a busy day here. Kick off state championship weekend. Dukes brings it out for the Bobcats, and he has met close to the 30. So Canadian right now with 61 points, Shea. They opened the playoffs with a big win over Hale Center when they scored 70 points in that opener. You still got 6 minutes left here in this one.
Well, it's been a difficult day for the Bobcats, Randy. You talk about field position and how important that is. When you see 61 points, you'd expect this to be like a 400, 500 plus yard game by an offense or more. But it's not. And the Wildcats just taking advantage, very opportunistic offensively. Give them a little bit of a crease, and you see again, there's Mascaro trying to get a run going. Gets dropped by Cade Throckmorton.
Well, so many of their possessions began in Refugio territory today after turnovers or short punts, and they've taken advantage just about every opportunity here.
Well, and earlier you were talking about it, and you said give the defense credit, and that's absolutely right. I mean, they created the turnovers for the Wildcats and really created field position for their offense. And it doesn't take much. I mean, this offense feels comfortable driving the ball 90 yards or they can drive it 15 or 20 yards. It doesn't matter to them. But the fact is when you get a short field and the offense is humming like the one for Canadian is today, it's extremely difficult to stop. Holton Huffstedler there. 37 tackles for loss. So you look at the tackles for loss for this defense that we've been raving about all game, Randy. 316 on the season coming into today. 316 in 15 games.
False start, number 22. 5 yards, still third down.
Well, this Canadian defense has sacked Jalen Mascoro 7 times today. And Refugio so far with just 253 total yards on this 2A Division I state title game. Canadian defense also with 4 interceptions in the ball game so far today. Yeah, well, nearly picked off as well, but a great catch made by Dadrick Dukes.
And coverage from Manny Ramsey was very good, but Dukes comes up with a great grab and a nice throw there by Mascaro. I mean, he's been on the run all game, Randy, but that's a nice ball that he gets outside and away from the defender, and Dukes snags it, comes up, shows the referee that he has it. Good completion for a first down.
13 yards on the pickup. Dadrick Dukes, by the way, another first-team All-State player for Refugio. Now sniffed out well there by the Wildcats. That's Holton Huffstedler and Cade Throgmorton with the stops for the Wildcats. Clock continues to roll. 4.5 left now in the fourth. Albany and Bremont. Game number 2 here at NRG Stadium. Second down, Mascoro, nothing downfield, and he is brought down by Sawyer Cook. Sawyer Cook has had a whale of a game.
He really has. He's a great defender on the edge, plays the outside linebacker spot. Dropped down into zone coverage, and he saw Mascaro trying to roll out and make a play with his feet, and just got in front of him, stayed in front of him. Comes up with a big play defensively for the Wildcats, and now 3rd and 12.
Cook, one of 7 seniors on this Canadian defense, a veteran team that's won a lot of football games. Yeah, pressure right there on Mascoro from Chedester. No surprise, we've called Chedester's name quite a bit today. AP Player of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year for Class 2A. And he is on display today, as advertised, absolutely. Fun player to watch, and we saw him a year ago, and what a run by these seniors. Tanner Schaefer coming in, 30-0 as a starter. When you win big, it's habit. And these young players coming to the program, they know what the expectations are. There's a good punt inside the 20. It's rolling, and they'll mark it down at the 17-yard line. Canadian gets it back on offense. That was a 46-yard punt. Tanner Schaefer, what a day he's had. Touchdown there to Chance Cook. Also has the legs as well. Takes that one home. He's a do-it-all player.
Oh, he certainly is. And these balls that he's throwing to Copley here on those last 2 catches, and the first one to Chance Cook. I mean, those balls are laser beams right on a line where only his receiver can catch the ball in between defenders. When you throw your guys open, that's how you complete 78% of your passes. And these aren't the little dink and dunk passes. He's going downfield with them. Extremely accurate with the football.
They'll begin on the 17-yard line. Final close to 3 minutes now left in this football game. And a lot of smiles on that Wildcats sideline. They know what's about to happen here. There's a bond that these guys develop. Whether you're in a big school or a small school, you're with each other for so many days, so many hours. When the work begins in August, for many schools, the summer drills that you do to prepare yourself for a state title run.
Tanner Schaefer has gotten the curtain call. Do it. His backup is in.
Yeah, getting a little time on the field. Do it junior for Canadian. He'll take over the reins next year. Schaefer's numbers, 14 of 24, 243 yards, 3 touchdowns. Through the air, big day on the ground as well. There he is. All smiles for Tanner Schaefer, Player of the Year. Many more accolades coming his way, I'm sure. He'll have a lot of stories to tell, as tell his kids and grandkids one day. And 31-0 as a starter.
And Randy, last year, obviously, this game was played. The state championship game was played at AT&T Stadium in Arlington. Had to commute a little bit further to get this W, but that's pretty cool to win in these 2 venues.
There's the punt. Omri Oliver with the return for Refugio. He's got running room. Lead blocker right there. Gets another one. Oliver taking it to the house. No flags down. That's a touchdown. A 53-yard return for Omri Oliver.
Nice job patiently running downfield and setting up that block beautifully. Take another look at the return, Randy, and nice job again of just outflanking, getting behind your blockers, and then waiting on that final block, which he gets.
Yeah, Jacoby Avery was right in front of him. Sophomore linebacker, special teamer, and had a good block to open some space. What a return there by Omri Oliver. So point after now coming up. Marcus Arredondo. It's up and good, so it's a 61-20 lead now for Canadian, as this one gets close to winding down here at NRG Stadium. Omri Oliver, he's a senior, so the highlight reel for him as he goes out and ends his high school career. I'll give a lot of credit to Refugio, although it has not gone their way on the scoreboard today. What a season they have had, 13-2 coming in. A couple of losses to a couple of powerhouse teams. And they knew they were going to have their hands full. So many people that have followed Texas high school football this season on all levels. The common theme seems like Canadian always comes up as far as the talent base on both sides. You know, size and speed doesn't matter, just production. They say they're one of the best teams in the state of Texas.
Well, you got to go on the pound for pound side of it, and I would have to agree with you with the talent that they have, the way that they're coached, and you see the types of plays that they make, and so the routes and just the way that they handle themselves offensively. Talk about this withering defense all day long. It's just been nothing short of outstanding. But offensively, with Schaefer at the helm, and you've got guys like Copley and Cook and Ramsey and Sawyer Cook going downfield and making plays for you. It's a very potent offense, and the offensive line does a great job. I mean, we can, you know, this team is very much deserving of the status that they get and the recognition that they get across the state.
Sawyer Cook jumps on that one for Canadian. Attendance today announced for this first ball game here, 6,528 on hand for the 2A Division I state championship. The crowds will continue to build. 50,000 by Saturday night.
We saw the earlier statistic that, you know, in each of these towns, it's like maybe just over 2,000 people.
Right.
So there's a couple of extra thousand here watching the game. That's great.
Minute 09 left for Canadian before they wrap up another state championship. Newth still in there at quarterback, replacing Tanner Schaefer. He'll hand it off and run this clock down.
Look like Edgar Marino getting a little bit of playing time here in the state championship game. And sometimes the clock can't run fast enough depending on which sideline you're on. And right now for the Wildcats, looking for it to run out as quickly as possible.
Duthith right here crossing midfield. And that'll do it probably here for this afternoon. Fans on their feet on the Canadian side. The Air Canada show has arrived at NRG Stadium. And they have put on a clinic today along with this Wildcat defense. And it is over here in Houston. Canadian, the Wildcats, state champions, 2A Division I for 2015. Fourth state championship for Canadian, making it back-to-back, and that is no easy task, Shay. It's a lot of hard work. It's a lot of talent and dedication from your players, and Canadian has shown they deserve it today in a great season, an outstanding season as well for the Bobcats from Refugio to make it here.
I can see the coaches shaking hands there at the 50. Players giving each other a little bit of love, and as you said, Randy, for the Bobcats, they're disappointed. They did not play their best game today, and their head coach Jason Herring would tell you that. Canadian, on the other hand, had it right, got in the right mood offensively, got into the flow at the start of the second quarter, and never looked back.
The team shaking hands. Trophy presentation will come up. Bringing it to you here from NRG Stadium. It'll be always tough. A lot of seniors on these teams that come up a little short. You make it to that state championship game. You want to finish the job. Doesn't always work out that way, but you got to hold your head up and know you put a lot of time and effort to make it to this stage. And it is a big stage in the state of Texas.
Well, it certainly is, and like you said, congratulations to both of these teams. And the story for the Bobcats this year. When you heard Coach Herring earlier, he was like, "Hey, you know what?" He goes, "We had to have something that turned the tide." He goes, "It wasn't me, it wasn't my coaching." He goes, "I was trying to reach the guys, and as you alluded to earlier, the uniform change." He said, "It happened." He goes, "It sounds like a goofy thing, but it happened. We got on a great run, and they found themselves playing in NRG for a state title."
All right, let's go down to the field. Check in with Brett Dolan, standing by with the star quarterback from Canadian. Hey, Brett.
Yeah, Tanner Schaefer threw for 3 touchdowns, ran for another. 31-0 as a starter, back-to-back state championships. Doesn't get any better than that, does it?
Wow, I mean, that's awesome. There's no other way I'd rather end my senior year than coming back to the state championship and going back-to-back.
You guys started a little bit slow offensively in the first quarter. You took advantage of some mistakes in the second, but you really turned things loose in the second half.
Yes, sir. I mean, we came out. Refugio has an awesome defense. I mean, they did something that we haven't really gone against all year, and we kind of adapted to it in this environment. I mean, you don't play in this every day, so it took us a while to get adapted, and we came out the second half and the end of the second quarter and just do what we've been doing all year.
Speaking of defenses, what about your defense? What would it be like to go against those guys? They're extremely impressive.
Wow. I mean, defense wins games, and I feel like this game they definitely won it for us. We came out and we couldn't really do anything on offense, but they were able to get us the ball back, and we just eventually we began to capitalize on whenever they did give us the ball.
Final thought, accuracy so important with you again today. I would imagine that takes hours and hours of work with your receivers in season and out of season.
Yes, sir. Yeah, accuracy is huge for me, and it's one of the things I really focused on throughout this summer. And I think it's paid off this year, and having great receivers outside is also huge, and inside. And, I mean, we have playmakers all over the field, and it's just awesome, you know. Great team.
Congratulations. Go get your medal.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Tanner Schaefer, the starting quarterback of the back-to-back state championship Canadian team. Randy, back to you.
All right, Brett, thank you. I mean, what a career he has had, Shay. 31-0 as a starter. Been the ultimate leader on this football team. A team that has a lot of leaders, but yes, it begins and ends with Tanner Schaefer.
It does, but it's really nice to hear him recognize the defensive side of the ball and really how important. And he understands the game, and I mean, he's got to be an incredible kid to coach. A very coachable guy, and I mean, he's a dominant player, one of the best probably that the Class 2A has seen. And there's been a lot of good ones that have come out of 2A.
Well, back-to-back state championships now for Canadian, and you look at guys like Cameron Copley, that Manny Ramsey that are coming back next year, just to name a few. They've got more, and they're going to have a talented bunch next year, but it's going to be tough to replace a guy like Schaefer, who's led the way for 2 years, and the victories and the yards and the leadership he provided. But Coach Ketting will find a way, as will the Wildcats. It's been a great start to championship weekend. Coming up next, our nonstop UIL championship coverage continues on 4 Championship Live with Rick Renner and Randy Rogers. That will be followed by the UIL 2A Division II state championship as Albany tries to avenge last year's defeat in a rematch with Bremont at approximately 1:45. It's the 3A Division I final between Brock and Cameron Yo. After that, and we wrap up today's coverage at approximately 8 p.m. with Wascom and Franklin 3A Division II. For Shea Walker and Brett Dolan, I'm Randy McAvoy saying so long from NRG Stadium.